Good evening. We already got two people here on time.
Already?
Yeah, because I came in about 30 seconds late.
Well, is there room for me to sit?
Where's that chair? I just dragged the chair over there.
I've got a chair, but you're like taking up the whole space. Welcome to the stream. I'm Kim of Kim Fixes Things. I've been fixing.
She's been fixing and working and fixing and now she's cleaning to do it. Big mess.
As hard as I think fixing cars is, then real life. For the next few hours, we are in our garage and no one can reach us. We're safe from the real world for just a moment.
Look at this. We got new people here. This SKV. Is that Skiv or SKV?
The SKV.
Good evening.
Kobe Queso, Mark Savay, Dirt Road Landing, Mexican Spec, Tavo, Buddy. Everybody wants some
Tavo's here.
Respite.
Where's Tavo? Oh, Tavo is here.
Barry Kuda's here too. Everybody is looking for some respite from the real world is tough. Wow. There's always something. And if it's not something, it's something else.
Can we set that over there with
Let's
the tools
do
before
it.
I knock it down? I don't know what this. Oh, that's
we get things cleaned up,
spool.
and then I started working on this old Bronco, right? And just like, I need this, and I need that, and I need this, and I need that, and I need some of these, and I need that, and all of a sudden I'm covered in a pile of.
She was up here all
dirt
night.
And parts and wires and burns and small woodland creatures. There's stuff everywhere.
What's this? Cutter down meeting tow truck moving 47 Mopar for me and Busty FC. Oh, Ford Control 170 Jeep lawn art. Oh, you got a Ford Control Jeep.
Cool.
You know what those things are? They look like a little van, only they're really short, and they look like a Jeep up front.
Mark Sauvé asked, is there a new plan for the radiator for the Bronco?
Oh.
Yes and no. I mean, the plan is that plastic tank radiators are problematic. They have been since very early. A couple of years they were around, and all of a sudden, already they were failing. And then you put in a new one and it fails in a couple of years, and if you're not super careful, you burn up a head gasket or whatever. They're problems. They always were. That's why the all aluminum were such a good thing, because they don't fail in the same way that the plastic. And anyways, Lester LeSabre made a very, very generous chat donation.
And a lot of people left. A lot of people left.
Smaller donations,
but they're all appreciated.
I mean, it added up big, but Lester, went above and beyond the call of duty, and we really appreciate him. When he comes in, everyone thank him. So I placed on order an aluminum radiator that is specifically for this vehicle, so it'll slide in and bolt up and go. It'll be hopefully it'll be the last thing. Since we're waiting on it anyways, it's supposed to come tomorrow. Since we're waiting on it anyways, I was up all night doing wiring.
Supposed to come on Sunday?
Yeah. Sometimes Amazon. I ordered.
I know
it from Amazon
they deliver stuff on Sunday sometimes.
Instead of eBay. It was a few dollars more, but it gets here quicker. And if I have any difficulty with the product, if it comes with a big dent in it or something like that, I don't have to return it to California. I just go online to Amazon's returns, and they take it no questions asked and send me another one. So our experience with Amazon where we live has been phenomenal. I'm not sponsored by them, but I have no complaints. Their system works so well. So I get a lot of stuff on Sunday. Yeah, because Amazon uses their own delivery. So they do whatever they need to do. But I've noticed that they'll tell me it's coming on Sunday, and especially Monday deliveries. They miss Monday deliveries every week. They don't come here on Monday, but they'll tell me it's coming. We never get the Monday delivery. It's always Tuesday. But Sunday, it will come on Sunday, and I ordered it long enough ago that it'll be in the system, and unless they get an overwhelming number of orders, it'll come on the Sunday truck. So yeah, the Sunday truck from Clarksville from Amazon will come. Anyways, not to over talk about it, but it wasn't that expensive. It was considerably more expensive than another junk plastic one.
That was $62, I think, was what.
Yeah. You could buy a junk plastic one for
the plastic
super
one.
cheap, especially if you're willing to wait half a month for it.
Oh, it cooled off here today. It was like 60-something degrees.
Yeah,
it's 59 right now.
Got much cooler.
Yep. I drove the Zed sled today to downtown Clarksville and went to my youngest son took me out to lunch.
Mexican Spec got flooded a bit.
Yeah, actually.
Wow.
Asked both of us to go to lunch, but Kim worked all night on her Bronco, so she was asleep. She goes, "Nah." I said, "Okay, it's fine, sleep." So I went and drove downtown and drove back.
I'm sorry, I missed your dinner.
And I didn't run the air conditioning because it was too cool. Yes, I got this nice car with air conditioning, and man, it's like fall is here already. There were leaves covered on that car already. It's out there picking all the leaves off it.
And when it's time, it hits.
Yeah, Tavo, they're starting to warm up.
Burn tonight, though. That's the good thing about a bunch of rain is then you can get some burning done. That's what we ought to do with some of that gasoline. We pulled about 10 gallons of what?
Kim got a couple 2-liter bottles, and she goes, "We got to get the gas out of this." So got a little facet pump. 1 2-liter bottle, second 2-liter bottle. She goes, "God, I got to get more bottles." So she got a couple more. Okay, then we got, what do we start filling then? 5-quart oil bottles. Filled one of those, filled another one, filled another one. Then she poured some
into my van.
Poured some of the bad gas in the van because there's a lot of gas in the van, so she diluted it.
Yeah.
And then more and more. We pulled 10 gallons out of this thing.
Probably 10 gallons. I had to go back and recount. I couldn't believe it. So the tank was full of gas that was probably 6 years old.
It didn't smell very good.
It might have been half a tank of bad gas mixed with like 3 or 5 gallons of good gas, but it smelled not good. And we're going to start fresh. So Monday, I'm going to go out. I have a doctor's appointment anyways. I have to go out there. So tomorrow? I'm going to go. No, Monday. Monday, I have a doctor's appointment out by the hospital.
See, so we get commercials coming up here.
Commercials?
And you're missing them all. Okay, got one here. No, it starts here. Okay. Here, on down. I'm sorry, I missed that again.
Then that's
Hippie
Long came in. Welcome in. Tim is here as well.
Yeah, and Hippie Long says he's doing Anna Gabriel tonight.
Dougster
so he's got to go to work.
Guys, all you who got advertisements, I don't feel like reading them right now, but thank you for telling us about them, and you get 2 points for each of them. And then all those people whose names I read up at the start of the stream, you're all going to get 3 points. So that starts with, I'm going to do it again just so. Oh, PT was the first one in. You get 4 points, but all these other people are going to get 3. So Dirt Road Landing, Mexican Spec, Buddy Carfano, Tavo, Mark Sauvé, Colby Queso, the SKV, Cutter Down Garage, Barry Cuda,
you got
Buddy Carfano.
They're all right here on time.
Thanks everyone for being prompt. We were talking about delaying the stream another half hour so we could be mad about how difficult life is. Luckily, here in our shop, in this moment, we have some peace. And the only real competition, the only real struggle is the next bolt on this thing. And honestly, I would so prefer to fight a rusty bolt or a greasy motor or part.
Hey.
Tavo.
Tavo, now you got to dance.
Tavo is generous. I don't have to dance, but I like to dance.
You like to dance?
Now we do that. Dance of joy. Not the dance of responsibility. Not the dance of obligation, but the dance of happy. Woo, 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 do.
Thank you, Tavo.
Thank you, Mr. Tavo. Mr. Tavo, check out the Tavo channel. This is not a paid endorsement. It's just Tavo's our friend. He sends us pictures on Tuesday nights. He has been around the community here since we started, and he is worldwide. He sends us cool pictures of cars that we would never see because they are from like another world, halfway across the world. When do we get to go to?
We're like halfway around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about Australia is there's some kind of rules against V8s. I don't understand. What's the difference? Why don't they have? They don't really do V8s as much in Australia.
Oh well, they did. They had the Chevy V8s, and then they had the small Chevy V8, which we didn't get
But
here.
they had a lot of
cool,
six-cylinder
yeah,
stuff.
they had a lot of cool stuff.
So they did a lot more with 6 cylinders. So those are cool. Anyways, thank you, Mr. Tavo. We appreciate you. Please don't dance like Elaine. I always dance like Elaine. Oh,
Here we go. We got more. This
the
is
merengue.
Cool.
What is the merengue? Which one is the? If you guys keep making me dance.
Dirt Road Landing. Thank you very much.
You guys keep making me dance. Oh yeah, Elaine is even a worse dancer than me, but I really am a terrible dancer. So I feel bad. But Dirt Road Landing, thanks so much. It's
what is that
very,
noise?
very generous of you to help out.
What is that noise?
That is a tree. It must be windy. There's a tree outside banging against the ceiling, the roof out there. I gotta cut that tree down.
That tree was just a little weed, and now it's a freaking tree that's 20 feet tall.
It's twice as tall as the garage. It's more than 20 feet.
There were no trees around this garage 2 years ago.
2 years ago? That tree's older than 2 years. Don't bullshit me. That tree did not grow. That tree's this big around. It did not grow that big in 2 years. Bronco.
Mark Silva says, I think back in the 70s, the largest engine allowed in Australia was the 383, he thinks.
I mean, that's a big block. So we're up on top of a hill. We're more worried
we
about tornadoes than floods.
We don't get flooded because of the way the property is, where the buildings are up on the top part, all the
Kim brought the trees. That tree wasn't even born when I got here if it was only 2 years ago. So don't let him bullshit you. To him, 20 years is 2 years. Whew. Mexican stock specification. Okay. I feel like I'm missing. Like I'll be in the middle of talking about something and then I'll change topics and I'll just never go back. So I apologize for the squirreliness. Thank you everyone for being generous. Tavo and Dirt Road Landing. Well, Dirt Road Landing.
Dean came in at some point and I missed it.
Do you have anything to say about what's going on with you, Mr. Dirt Road Landing? Thank you so much for your generous donation to the community. I think everyone would be.
Barry Curtis says, I had a 400 cubic inch Chevy in New Zealand. Oh, wow.
Bob's turn.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You have to.
But
a donation like that, you cannot say
no.
No.
That's two of them. Two from the same.
I don't understand.
Someone
stole Dirt Road Landing's credit card and is erroneously. Come on, you have to dance.
What, I don't dance. You know I can't dance. You know I can't dance.
That's okay.
What?
What you think?
I don't know how to dance. This is silly. Look at this little short man and this big tall girl.
I can't dance. You can't sit down.
Ow! You're bending my arm. You're forcing me. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Bend my hand all the way backwards. It's like the police grabbed me. See, I took a class one time. I was in a police academy. There was defensive tactics. We had to learn how to do that to people's hands. And you just did it to me. All right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, this is crazy.
Go ahead, you're allowed to sit there.
Just slow dancing.
I have no choice. I have to get what he earned it. That was very generous, and I'm not going to let him back out at that level of donation. I'm not going to let him.
We keep getting donations like this. We're going to have to charge the battery that runs the lights. Of course, a couple of LEDs don't
I made him dance. I will. I'm not above. I twisted his arm.
Wow.
You're such a baby. He was like,
Just like,
how are you hurting me?
oh, you didn't know what you did to my hand. You bent it around the wrong way. It doesn't bend that way. No, look,
Wow, what a way to start.
We get somebody's hand behind their back, somebody's being uncooperative, and you grab their fingers like this with their hand behind their back, and you bend their fingers like this. And you don't have to bend very hard. They get real cooperative.
When you get to be 71, you kind of you slow down. Right?
Dirt Road Lens, it's my pleasure. Guys, your channel is awesome. I learn a lot from you guys. Really.
Well,
thank you.
We try. We learn a lot from us too. I have painted myself into a corner.
Oh, that's how you really learn on cars. Paint yourself into a corner.
You know, sometimes people are like, "Oh, I painted myself in the corner, so I went out the window." If there's no window, you know what you learn? You learn patience, because paint dries. If you just wait. Sometimes that's what you guys have been here.
My hero, but getting to 71 years without dancing. Nah, there's a couple of times I had to.
Yeah. There have been a couple of times we've been on lives and we've been working on a project and I have been frantically trying to and then it was like, Kim, stop. Kim, stop. People have told me in the chat, you guys have told me, Kim, it's time to stop. Just take a break. Or, call it. Because you're going to wreck it. You're going to mess it up. And we've had to shut the lights off and walk away. And a good night's sleep.
Go-go dancers.
Yes, go-go dancers. I have some friends who are go-go dancers. That's a real job. Like you can make a living, like a career being a go dancer. Mostly, people are on their night out. They're one night a month or, a couple nights a year. They get to go out and really have a good time and let loose. And you're there, and not me, but they are there in a cage dancing. And they talk nice to them, and they're wearing their eyelashes, and they bat their eyes at them, and wiggle their bum, and they're all painted. I mean, the one woman in particular that I know, she puts her hair up, she's wearing makeup, she's beautiful, and people just tip her to come and talk to them at their table when she's on, off of her shift and stuff like that, and she makes a living. Like she lives well. I mean, she's married and she doesn't pay for everything out of that, but she makes a very good living go-go dancing. But it's like being a professional athlete, like there's not too many 50-year-old go-go dancers. Who was it? Brett Favre was like the oldest living football player at one time, but
Mexican Spec says, me too. At my 10-year reunion, a girl I went to all three schools with made a beeline to dance on the first song. I do not dance. I faked it. Well, good, you faked it. That's kind of what I just did.
You know what? I like to dance, but it hurts because I'm sort of I'm getting old. It's very hard to
You've had a few back surgery, neck surgeries, yeah.
Yeah. I've got metal in place of my spine in 4 places. So it's harder to do. And I was never good at it. When we were kids, we did not dance. I didn't grow up in a dancing family, so I learned late in life. And I recognize that people who have been dancing their whole life are going to be better at it than me. Like, it's more fun to watch somebody dance who is very good at it. So any old music will do. It helps to have some music on. Yeah, that's what we should do. We should have a little bit of dancey music.
Man, we went to a sushi place, my youngest son and I. It was so good.
I know, he got to go get sushi today.
Yeah,
that's the closest he wants to be to dancing, is enjoying some sushi.
The sushi was exceptional. It was there's a place here in Clarksville. It's probably the best sushi place ever been, and that's what Con says too. And I got a big roll. The big looks like a big snake, and it was eel with some avocado and some crunchy stuff on it. Man, was that good! And I embarrassed myself because I had to ask for a fork. Because if I use chopsticks, the food will be all over the place. I used a fork. Yeah.
Men, if you like to hold a beautiful woman and be close to, I mean, close enough to really smell and just really be beside a beautiful woman, learning to dance, I mean, that'll get you in the door. See, when we were young, you couldn't be, the men were not trained to dance because that was sort of, you know, it was frowned upon. But like the women wanted someone to dance with, so the women ended up dancing together instead of with a man because there was not enough male partners to dance with. Learn to dance. Teach your sons to dance.
Dirt Road Atlantic says, I love sushi, but it's got to be fully cooked, no raw fish. On the menu, they have little.
I love sushi that's cooked.
They have a little asterisk by anything that's got raw meat or raw fish in it. And I never choose the stuff with the raw stuff. The eel is cooked, and it's, I don't know. I prefer not to have raw fish.
Technically, it's not raw. It's
It
cured,
says
pickled.
Cook
No.
makes it not sushi. No, sushi can be cooked. It's what's the stuff that's not cooked? It's sashimi. Sashimi is not cooked. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Most sushi here is cooked.
Yeah, most of the stuff on the menu is cooked. There's probably a third of it, and part of that third is the whole bottom of the page on one side of the menu is, what is it called? Sashimi or something? It's that. None of that's cooked. But the rest of it, there's a few asterisks around. But I just don't choose that. Yeah, sashimi. That's what Mark Sauvé says. He's probably right. That sounds right. My former wife took me to a Japanese restaurant, and it was up in Maryland, and it was close to the apartment I had. And we walked to the restaurant. We got finished, and they got these blocks of this 3 different kinds of fish that were not cooked. I tasted a little bit. I don't remember what else. Maybe I ate some rice or something, salad. I don't know. And I asked for a box, and I took all 3 pieces home. I got home, took a frying pan, put a little oil in it, put the raw fish in the frying pan, cooked it. It was really good, but I'm sure some Japanese chef would have been upset with me. I just didn't. It just didn't taste right. Yeah, and I know what it is. Raw fish is bait. That's right. What is this? Dean Stevens, except if you're Japanese or
Inuit.
Intuit.
No, Inuit. He was like saying like Alaskan people.
Oh, there.
Alaskan
He's
people? Yeah.
Well, they're
Correct.
Northern Canada. Yeah, he's correct with that. I see.
Except what? Except it's cooked. They eat it straight.
Oh yeah,
raw.
well, this sushi place.
We have raw fish.
This
here.
sushi place, we go in there. Usually, I'm the only guy in there that's not Japanese. Well, my son is, and he likes that place. I said, man. He goes, this is the 3rd time I've been in here this week. He says, we come over here to Clarksville. He goes, this is where we go. It's a good restaurant. I said, the last time I was in here was with you. But when I sit in there, usually I look around, there's all Japanese people and me and my son. But this time, it wasn't all Japanese. But I was the one that had to ask for the fork. I looked at the server and I said, I'm going to embarrass myself. I said, may I have a fork? And she just smiles. She goes, yeah, of course. She says, people have trouble. They have plastic chopsticks. She goes, people have trouble with these plastic chopsticks because they're
Bendy.
smoother than the...
Smoother?
They're smooth instead of wood. Wood
has a little bit of texture. Yeah.
Right. So she goes, people don't always like these. And I'm thinking to myself, man, it isn't because of the smoothness of the chopsticks. It's because I don't know how to operate chopsticks. I'll be flinging food all over the place. I just know better.
Kobe Kesa says I don't eat fish.
Really? That's how my oldest son, he won't eat fish. He won't eat seafood, anything, unless he'll go out and go fishing. And then he'll
eat it if he catches it.
He'll eat it if he catches it.
I don't know.
And he says to me, Well, it's different. I don't know.
Dirt Road Landing asks, do you guys like sardines? He says he likes them, but they have to be skinless, boneless, and an olive oil.
Oh, I like
I'll eat
sardines.
sardines, but they're too salty. I don't want to eat a lot of them. It's like a one or two thing, and it has to be with the right food. Like it's something. It's a very occasional food, but he likes them. He'll eat whole cans of them, but he won't eat the ones that come from
No, I won't eat Chinese.
Chinese
No.
ones because he's leery about the way they were prepared and packaged. But the one of the stores we have to go to a specific store. I forget the name of the store, but I know which one it is. It's over there by the Rural King. Anyways, they have sardines that are.
I know people who eat tuna. That's cat food. No, I eat tuna.
I like tuna.
Tuna in a can is like all chopped up, which is okay because I'll make a tuna salad. But then if you buy tuna that's like a big chunk of meat in the store, and there's a store I used to go in Maryland that had a real good fish counter, and they'd cut a piece of tuna for you, and you cook it like you do any other fish, and it's really good. So what was it somebody said up here? It was Dougster said something about wasabi. Man, I went in a sushi place years ago.
This is a funny story.
I was the same way. I'm not going to sushi. That's just nothing but raw fish. I didn't know any better. So I went, and there was this green stuff. Like, oh, this is pretty good. I thought it was avocado. I took a big old scoop of that, put it on there, and ate it. It's like, oh man, that burned the back of my throat. It came up behind my nose and behind my eyes. Oh my God, that was all I knew was it was not avocado. It's like, what did I swallow? Oh my God. Oh man.
Oops.
Very good. It says even my cat doesn't like tuna. King Oster is my go-to sardine brand. There's a YouTube channel. There's a woman on there that's the sardine. What the heck is the name of that?
Oh, that's right. There's a lady.
All she does is she tastes sardines, and she's like the sardine taster or something. I don't remember the name of the channel, but she has this little dog next to her, one of these flat-faced little bulldog-looking things, and she opens it up and she tastes the different, all these different sardines and canned fish, and puts it on crackers, and then the dog watches her the whole time, and then she puts some in a dish and gives it to the dog, and then the dog eats it. But every once in a while, she'll put something over there, and he sniffs it, and then he looks up and he looks at her like, I'm not eating this.
That's who you
should. It's so funny.
If the dog won't eat it, it's not human food either.
But she always has that dog sitting there. I can't think of the name of her channel. Sardine something. It's pretty funny though. Kevin Smith here. He says, hi, I'll stop to say hi. Back is killing me. May join in later. Oh, man.
Rest.
Yeah, rest, something. That's easy to say, but I know there's times I tell Kim to rest, and she'll be, it doesn't matter what position she's in. She's hurting,
Yeah, that happens too.
Very good. You have to be careful with Malman's custard, too. Oh, I don't know what that is. Mark Sauvé, Buff. I once did something like that at a buffet. Load up a big heap of coleslaw on my plate and took a big mouthful. It was horseradish.
Oh!
Horseradish. I like to take just that prepared horseradish, which is pretty rough, and mix it with a little mayonnaise, and it kind of calms it down a little bit. You put it on beef, especially like on a sandwich. I think it's so good. But man, yeah, horseradish, that'll do the same thing. It'll burn your throat, come up back to your nose, burn your eyes from the backside.
Man.
Yeah, Dirt Road says I once mistaken wasabi for avocado. Yep, me too.
Oops.
That was bad. That was probably one of the worst experiences with food I've ever had. And I think when that happened, I was on the road somewhere, and we went in a place, and so I got out of the car, and then that happened, and I came back. It's like it changed my life, man. Oh man. Kevin Smith, give a this and this on my way out. Well, just try to take care, man.
Don't be afraid to take some pain medication to get you through a moment until our body has a chance to heal a little bit.
Kevin Smith's supposed to have surgery. Man, here you go. Dean Stevenson, Kevin, you need an exotic dancer to give your back a low-level workout. Mama M3. Dean, Doug, Tim. Hello. Straight bullet. I like horseradish straight. I like it on beef, but you got to be careful with it. And it's one of those things. A little bit goes a long way. That's why I like to take like a high quality mayonnaise, not some cheap crap, but one of the better brands, and mix it with horseradish just to cut it a little bit. And I think it's really good on beef, but that's just me. Barry Cuda says, I heard sardines have a high mercury content.
You got to be careful. Any fish can have high in mercury.
I guess it depends on where it comes from. Of course, when I was a kid, kid in the 50s, we played with mercury. We had it. We wipe it all over coins and turn them. They look like they looked like they were chrome plated. We had it in our hands and everything because they're stupid. Because nobody knew any better then. Parents used to take apart like a mercury switch and give you the mercury out of it.
Yep. Jeez, scary, isn't it? They didn't know no better.
People are saying they'd like to have a beer with Kevin. Dean Stevenson, we drink in moderation. Spec is saying something. Oh, excess. I don't know what that is. And then he could drive me home. A big old Chev. Kevin Smith says can't drink beer.
He says he'll see us all at 1 a.m. I don't know if we'll be.
Would be fun. Would, says Kevin Smith. Would. Dougster says, my friend gets this super powerful horseradish called nuclear horseradish. That stuff's the strongest I've ever had. It's a special order thing he gets. I've always wondered who was the first person that put the horseradish in their mouth and decided it was a thing to eat. If I were that person, I would have decided right on the spot, that's not a thing that should go into my mouth. I don't know. Oh, man. Kevin Smith sees y'all around, I think around 1 a.m., I think is what he's saying.
Yeah, I'll bet he's going someplace for a little while. I don't know if we'll be here, but you know what? If we're not here, I'll bet you a bunch of these people will be in another stream because you guys are chronically online. Not that that's a bad thing. Everywhere I go that's car related, and some of the like he sees in his radio streams, you guys are there, which is cool. And it's like a community of chronically online people.
Mustangs, Mopars, Mustangs.
Raw hamburger!
You know what I used to do? This is crazy. I understand it too. Because when I was a teenager, I don't know, I'd come home on my bicycle, grab something to eat, and go do my paper route. and that was hard to do that quickly. So I'd make a big flat hamburger, really squish it down flat, like a smash burger, and I'd put it on the grill and go, and then flip it over. That was it. You'd kind of just sear the surfaces. But man, the inside was raw. And it was so good. But I quit doing that.
The thing of it is you can eat a lot of things raw. The problem is when you get that one time that you get the wrong thing, you will be sick. It could even kill you.
Mexican spec says,
obviously restaurants can't take that risk of feeding people food that will kill them.
Mexican spec says that phrase he used later is on all the beer ads. It means avoid excess.
Avoid excess. Good rule.
Dirt road mining. Whoever walked through nettle and decided to make tea out of it.
It was probably somebody who was starving. That's always who. The same with like spicy peppers and things like that. Somebody was starving. The animals weren't eating it, so they tried it. They didn't die, and then they developed a taste for it.
Buddy Carpano says mercury, lead paint, asbestos, all fun things from our childhood.
Oh, there was a lot of that stuff. And it was sometimes they didn't know, and other times they knew, but it was like chlorinating water poisons the water, but it's the best thing we know to do. It doesn't kill you and it doesn't cause any instant major harm, so it's a good way to go.
Tavo
It's
says,
probably not the best way.
Tavo says, I'm thinking the same about oysters. Who was the first to crack one open and say that lump of snot looks delicious?
Yeah, right.
You know what? But I like smoked oysters in the cans. But that's where I have a problem with the Chinese, because all our smoked oysters, there's one brand once in a while that comes from somewhere in Europe, and if that's available, I get it. But that's almost never there. It's all Chinese stuff, and I'm not getting Chinese canned food.
Well, it's a natural defense to be spicy or taste bad. Because you know what didn't taste bad? What was just delicious was them dodo birds. I heard unicorns were really tasty too.
Stray Bullet says I could get mad cow disease. Well, I used to do that.
Technically,
I'm talking about, I was doing that in 1967, 68, when I was like 13 or 14 years old. And, yeah, I learned, I started reading and learning why, especially you can't cook hamburger rare, because when they grind it up, then any bacteria gets all ground into it. Whereas a piece of meat, the bacteria isn't on the inside of it. You can cook it so it's rare, and that's usually safe as long as you sear the outside.
Meat handling and packaging and refrigeration is better than it used to be as well. But that doesn't mean it can't go wrong. I know I've gotten spoiled products during the summer when it's real hot. Stuff comes in spoiled, but in the wintertime, nothing ever spoils here.
Tim says Walmart and I know it's Kroger. K. Roger as a
radioactive foreign shrimp.
Oh, talking about K. Roger.
That's where you get the.
You know who says K? You know who says K. Roger?
No.
It's Cope. John Cope. Instead of calling it Kroger, he calls it K. Roger.
K. Roger.
Well, he went somewhere today, and he sent me a picture.
Did he really? Oh, look at that. Show the chat. Hit it as close as you can. There you go.
Oh, yeah, John Cope sent me that. Somewhere he went, that was parked. Well, it looks like there's other cars parked around there, too, that are old cars. So it was at a car show that John Cope went to. So he sent me that. It's pretty good.
That's wow. That's the same as your car, but it's different.
Yeah, it's another Z7. Kevin Smith, this oysters is like snot. Oh, you'll never be able to eat them again. You know what? The little smoked oysters, I really like them in the cans, but they're really hard to find. Yeah, it's good to, Barry Cruz says it's very wise to avoid canned Chinese food. Yep. Yeah, well, they've had canned Chinese food with, probably 10 years ago now, it had antifreeze in it, automotive antifreeze. And then they had, like the China show. I don't know if you ever watched those two guys. They both lived in China one of them was there like 14 years, the other was like there 11 years. They're in the U.S. now. And they said, a lot of the restaurants, they go right out and they get oil out of the gutter because all the old oil drains in the gutter. It's these gutter oil and they cook with that. Well, man,
D-Man's here, welcome in.
That's just not up to my standard.
Tapeworms, yeah, especially pork. Never eat raw pork.
D-Man. Did you say D-Man? I don't know. You were saying greetings to somebody, but I didn't hear what.
I did.
Okay.
That's okay.
Gene Stevenson is correcting me. Z7. Well, it's a Z sled, so I thought it was a Z7. So, I bet when you're speaking to your friends in New Zealand, you don't say that. I bet you say Zed. I don't know. He might not. Mark Sylvester says, Kim, it looks like you're trying to connect the Bronco to a USB port.
Yes. It's Bluetooth.
Dougster says, I like steaks rare, but not cold. Yeah, I like really rare beef, but
I'll tell you guys what I'm doing.
I don't eat it much like that. What's
Okay.
that?
So, the return line for the tank. I'm hooking up the fuel pump. Gosh, I gotta say this quick. I'm hooking up the fuel pump, and it has to have a bypass so it can circulate, or else it'll build too much pressure. Why? I don't know, because that's the way these systems are just not very good. So, electric fuel pump bypass, it's a very small line that goes back to the tank. So, I have to adapt from a big hose to a little hose. So, what I'm going to do is I'm sleeving the little hose with a piece of steel line. Just, okay, and I've got it jammed in the end of there. I don't know if they can see that. I've got it jammed in the end of there. I think they can see that. To make it rigid, and then I'll put the bigger piece of line over top of it, and then I can clamp it.
That's your restrictor.
Right, and that's my adapter.
Yeah, but it's also a restrictor.
Well, but it's not intended to be a restrictor. It's just intended to be rigid so I can clamp so they won't, scoot apart.
Mopars, Mustangs, minivans. I had a Mexican friend prepping cow and mincing meat in their home. I was scared to try fresh cut beef.
Fresh beef is probably way better. But
beef. Yeah, D-Man says a return line. That's right. Because this car originally had an engine-driven pump.
Right, the 2.8 was a mechanical fuel pump.
So the 2.9 are all injected, so they have a pump in the tank.
Well, there's no provision for a pump on this.
So this tank doesn't have a pump in the tank.
No,
and there's nothing on the engine, no place to mount a mechanical pump. So she's going to put a facet pump on there and send.
We all know what a click clack is. A little pump. It's going to sound awful, and we like it.
Dean Stevens said it's okay. I speak American to my Kiwi friends.
But yeah. So this is the bypass. This was the vent line that goes back to the tank, and this way we can just put a little T in the line. Once it's built, it makes enough volume that this bypass doesn't even need a restriction in it. Just the fact that it's a little line, it's going to build enough pressure. 2-3 psi is all it's going to need, because carburetors don't require pressure. They require volume. So the tiniest bit of pressure is usually enough, especially on a low performance engine like this.
Kevin. Okay.
In college, Kevin.
Oh, jeez.
With the bros.
Yeah, the Dougster says the best process a deer, a pig, or a cow. No big deal. Fresh is best. The best beef liver for liver and onions is fresh liver, like I got from the cow today, fresh.
Oh yeah, because the stuff you get at the grocery store is almost always frozen, and it's just not as good. Just not as good. Although, even if you butcher it yourself, do not eat pigs raw. They need to be cooked, because you guys know this. I'm telling you guys stuff you already know. But pork frequently has worms, and if you eat it, you'll have worms, and you'll get heartworms or whatever. It's not good, because pigs root in poop. They don't care. Where some other animals, it's not so problematic.
What is Dean saying here? The 2.9 was designed to use Holm West German tooling and make a tall deck 4.0 liter base from a new 2.4 and 2.9 liter engine. It was, of course, based on the 60-degree V4 V6, but everything was different. Yeah, because I thought the 2.8, just not knowing any better, I always thought 2.8 and 2.9 were you call it Cone engine? Because I thought that was the Cologne.
We call it the Cologne.
Yeah,
but
it looks
maybe
like
it's a
Cologne.
different way
Well,
of saying the same thing.
it's from Germany, Cologne, Germany. So I always thought they were the same, but man, there's a lot of differences, and it's surprising because they kind of look the same until you start looking at them.
Well, the
Urine marinated eggs? No, I have not heard of that.
I mean, I can understand in difficult times where you need to preserve food so that you don't starve when it turns into winter. Yeah, you would do that, but we have like you could pickle things with like salt. You don't need to use urine. The salt used to be really expensive. So when salt became cheap, doing things like using urine to preserve food, not necessary
Well,
anymore.
Sister Jean says the 4-liter Explorer and Ranger and 05 to 10 Mustang engine is based on the Essex 60-degree deck height. Well, I thought that, I looked at I had a, what do you call that thing? Man, what's that van called? The one with the Aerostar. I had a 4-wheel drive Aerostar van that we got on at an auction, and it had a 4.0 liter in it, and that thing was, I had to tow it home. We got it like for $60 or something, and it's like, what do we get this rusty piece of shit for? But I got it running and drove it. I think the brakes were stuck. I got it running anyway, and it just surprised me how quick that van was. And I was in Ohio, and some guy came all the way from California with a truck and picked that thing up. He bought it on eBay from me and picked it up. And I said, man, this thing's rusty. He goes, I don't care. The 4-wheel drives or the 4.0 are hard to find. I have one in California, and I need this for a parts car. And he was really happy. I got like $600 for it, and I was so happy because usually you get some $60 car from the auction, man, you're stuck with it, can't get rid of it. But I got rid of it. I felt pretty good about it. Dexter says, friends of mine, but the point was that the 4.0 was a really quick engine compared to the 2.8s and 2.9s.
Yeah, that's a lot of extra cubes.
Dexter says, friends of mine will process...
And it bolts right in place of the same thing, from what I understand.
Friends of mine will process pigs and smoke their own pork bellies for bacon.
There you go.
I'll tell you this, ain't no store-bought bacon that tastes as good as that.
No.
Really? I believe it, yeah.
That sounds good.
Dean says, 66 through 97, S6 60-degree English engine was the same deck height as the 1990 through 2010 4.0 Cologne V6. And that must have been what was in that van I had. 1990. I don't know what year that the Aerostar van was I had. God, that was in the late 90s. And it seemed like it was an old van at the time. How do you smoke sausage? Kind of hard to light it up, says Kevin Smith. Dougster says that will make their own pork rinds. Those are really good. I only started eating those recently, like within the last year, just because they don't have any carbs and it's something crunchy I can eat. Can't eat potato chips. Don't eat the mint and the urine. Oh yeah, no kidding.
Ooh. Yep, a bass. Hey guys, while I was working in here, I made a new battery tray, moved the battery from that side to this side because all the wiring's over here. So I don't understand why I would want to run it over there and then back. So I moved the battery tray over to this side of the motor. I reconnected the start solenoid. Oh, I hooked up the power steering pump that came off the Ranger because the 2.8 to 2.9 bracketry was different. And I redid the hoses because they were bad. No money, just time. So things are coming along. This is going to be a real vehicle.
Dean says Ford UK and Ford Cologne did parallel development. No parts were shared except for the bore spacing. Then South Africans copied the English Essex V6 and put blown V6 parts in it.
Oh.
Made it EFI too.
I'll be darned. I know with the the difference between the 2.8 and the 2.9, one of them was the valve order. They put they did away with the Siamese exhaust valve because I guess they had cylinder cracking problems with the 2.8 cylinder head. So that changed. That's why you can't use parts from the 2.8 on the 2.9. And they changed it from a timing gear to a timing chain.
Oh, yeah, and the distributor turns backwards.
So the distributor turns actually in the correct direction as other Fords. The 2.8 was actually the outlier there. But anyways, the 2.8 and the 2.9, the distributors turn in different directions. So you can't use the 2.8 distributor because the mechanical advance is going to work wrong. And also they changed the oil pump drive. So you cannot use a 2.8, 2.9 distributor interchangeably because the oil pump drive is a different type of, the shape is different, so they won't interchange. That's why I had to make this special distributor, because I had a really good 2.8 distributor. I mean, I still do, but it was been more work than it was worth to adapt it. I just started from scratch. It was easier. So that's how that was going. So something.
Doug says try pork rinds Mexican style with salsa. I have done that. I did it quite a bit. Dean Stevens says, MSM. It's Father's Day, so my kids came up the hill to see me.
It's Father's Day?
Well, probably maybe in New Zealand. I don't know.
Okay.
Stray Bullet says, I like them with applesauce. Oh, yeah. Kevin Smith says, pork chop and applesauce. My mother always did that. My mother would cook pork chops. We got applesauce with it.
Pork chops and applesauce. Yeah. That'd be good. That does sound good. All of it.
Main Street says, unfortunately, no. It will be ready next year for sure, hopefully with some improvements. And I think we're ready other than sticking the CB radios in the cars, which should be too hard.
Oh,
I'm not going to mount them in. I'm just going to put them in.
We got to get on those CB radios.
Yeah, I know. We got to get this car out of here pretty soon.
I know.
And tomorrow we got things to do. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Man, it loads up. I brought this in because the weather was changing, and I thought if we're going to do this, I got to get rid of things. There's things I've got to get rid of this year, and like this was one of the ones that was on the chopping block. It was a do or die. Like if you're not going to get that this year, Kim,
because it's been sitting out there for 2 years.
Yeah, and there's things you can't just leave lie around, and an open motor. It was sitting in the trailer, and then rained, and the trailer filled up with water. And I was like, oh man, I better get that motor running before it fills up with water too. Like I caught it and drained the trailer before, but the leaves get in there, it fills up with water. Same with that 360 motor sitting out there, it needs to get under cover. Same with the skid loader. It was like, we need this so that we can work this winter. There's just so much to do, so much to do. I don't want to overwhelm myself verbally though, but there's a lot to do. There always is. I hope you guys are doing well.
Mexican Fix says applesauce is too much like a fruit. Kim eats applesauce a lot, and I never eat it. Oh, it's got a lot of sugar in it.
I can't eat it as much because it is a lot of sugar.
Tavo says, yeah, Father's Day down here is the first Sunday of September.
Oh, that old gas really stinks. I took this.
Oh, I can smell it from here.
It stinks. I'm glad we got 10 gallons of that old gas out of it. I would have never thought it was 10 gallons.
Dean Stevenson again, Ford North America only had to ask Fomoco Cologne's engineers, and they would make changes to suit the U.S. market. 100% imported engine.
Imported engine. That makes sense. Yeah, I know that's not a regular Ford motor. But there was a lot of vehicles that used these engines, and one of the things like that radiator, such a problem. I'll bet you that radiator, that garbage radiator design where the seam cracks and then the water leaks out slowly, I'll bet you that killed so many of these Cologne engines. So many of them.
Well,
Because
people want me to
just replace
epoxy
them
that.
with the same bad thing.
That tank
Yeah.
comes down on the side, and then there's like a little flange that sticks out that those things crimp over the top of. Or it cracked was right where that flange is. So the flange was cracking off the side of the tank. You're just when that thing pressurizes, it's going to open up again. Something's like a tube up in a header plate. It pressurizes it. When it pressurizes, it tries to clog the leak. But something like that, when you put pressure on it, it's just going to open up. So that's why we gave up on it. And then we got all the super chats to buy a radiator. Kim bought a radiator.
And again, thank you so much. I'm going to put this together. It's going to be a real machine. We might, oh man, I think about the dream of the adventures we can have with this, and it's very exciting. I'm really excited about being able to do stuff with this. I don't know what we're going to do, but at least it'll be useful. I can pull the trailer up out of the weeds with it. I know that sounds silly, but like
we get things. All you gotta do is go down the hill a little bit, and then it rains, and the grass is so slick you can't move anything. Everything the tires just spin. But as soon as you have like the Jeep, we take the Jeep down there, but it doesn't have a hitch on it.
People are like, "Oh, that's such a nice piece of property," and it's like it is. But then once it rains,
the good thing is, if it starts flooding around here, it never floods here. It runs downhill away from us.
Everything goes away. That's a good thing. Although we do get water in it.
No, I don't think JB Weld can fix it because it's nylon to begin with, which JB Weld. JB Weld's hard. I guess it's a little bit more resilient.
It'll stick to it. We talked about it.
I've been there, done that. I've tried and tried and tried with these things, and I experience tells me don't waste your time with it because you're gonna think it's okay, and then 3 or 4 days later,
it'll fail when you need it the most.
And then when
you're working the engine.
Yep.
When you're trying to tow something and the engine gets hot and it gets a little bit of pressure in it for the first time, and
yep, I've been there, and it's like this is one thing that the experiences I have, I know better. There's things you can put JB Weld on, and there's things you can't. That isn't going to be one of them.
The 3 and the 4, who's talking about it? Dean. The 3 and the 4 are different. The 3-liter engines are not interchangeable at all.
What's this?
The 2.9 and the 4-liter,
I'm not even sure what. I keep seeing the term Essex engine, and the only ones I've ever had are Cologne engines, so I don't really even know which.
3-liter Essex got used in the Rangers a lot.
What was the one that was in the Crosswise engine, the 3-liter that's in the Taurus? Of course, our Taurus might be different.
I don't know. That might be.
What is that? Is that an Essex engine? I don't know. I don't even know if it's a 60. I think it's a 60 degree. Because I had a 3-liter. I've had several of them. 3 liters in Taurus and Sables, and those I never had a problem with those engines. Comparing the Cologne and the 3, this is like comparing Cleveland V8 to Windsor. German engine had way more potential. I'm not even sure what the Essex is. Okay. Main Street Goods, it's fairly good shape. It has some rust along the roof line. I can include another cab. Kevin's some trouble with no spare.
Getting behind on the
Can you trust JB Weld on a plastic radiator? No.
It's not plastic. It's because if it was plastic, we could use
nylon. It's nylon, but it's a type of nylon.
If it was ABS plastic, I could use pipe cement, and it welds.
Oh yeah, it welds the stuff together.
It would fix it. Like there's certain things that you can fix, and there's some things you can't. The other thing is that plastic. If you looked at that fiberglass or what was it called again?
I think it's nylon. That
nylon is starting to deteriorate. Like when we looked at it closer, that was an original radiator, and it was old, and it was starting to. JB is for temporary for emergencies. For some things, JB Weld will hold up indefinitely, but for something like that, it just wasn't. Look, there's lots of things that I will patch, but the radiator on this vehicle is a known failure point, and the last thing I want to do is overheat one of these motors because they don't do well with it. Like,
Yeah, they don't like overheat.
Of all the things to start as a foundational thing to build on, a good radiator is a must for one of these Broncos. It's a must. And you know what? The parts for these are valuable. Like if I were to put something like that up on Marketplace, somebody would snatch it up because it's the thing that goes bad. You know, most people don't want to spend the extra money because you get lured into the cheap junk one. Just buy another cheap junk one. It's like the scrap yards are lousy with cheap junk parts. We've got 3 of those garbage plastic ones. They're all bad.
Kevin Smith says plastic radiator sucks. Yep.
Hey, Fairway is here. Love your channel, guys. Keep it up. Thank you. Welcome in.
This is scrolled. What you're talking? The whole thing just scrolled
I'm
by,
sorry.
and I lost a lot of them.
You can scroll up.
But so Mexican Spec says, do you have spares for your cars in case the tire blows? Yeah, I'm throwing one of my old wheels in there, and I told Kim you need to throw a wheel in yours, and she goes, it's exactly what you say. She's got to throw 2 spares in there because she's got 2 different bolt patterns
and 2 different tires.
Okay, it's just flying by. I'm scrolling back for a second. Okay, Dean Stevens says Essex 60 degree isn't the US 3.8. Yeah, I'd never had a 3.8. 3.8s are trouble. They get hot once and the heads warp and they pulse. They're junk. The 3.0 is a different engine, and I had that. I don't know what that 3.0 is. Okay, let's see. Garrett, I have plastic side tanks on my radiator crimp. Pinhole at the crimp. Yep, that's a problem.
We have 3 of them, and they're all like that. It's a known failure, and it's very hard to repair because the crimp is like a one-time thing that's done with a special tool that we don't have, and it's not meant to be redone. And all those little crimp flanges, we could see where the aluminum was cracking because it's not meant to be redone. And it was like, this is going to fail. This is a bad repair. Barry Kuda said that he did a long-lasting repair of a split on a plastic radiator with CRC fiberglass patch, and it hasn't failed. So it is possible to fix it, but this was already going bad in multiple ways. We just need something we can depend on.
Fairway. How do you do that? How do you change the font and highlight your name? I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, that's it. Interesting.
I've seen there's somebody else in a one that I go to, and his is in italics, and I don't know how he does it. Man, my throat's starting to give out.
Tim, it didn't work. We were trying to crimp it back together, and the tank split.
Split right at the flange.
Yeah.
So the flange is starting to come off the tank. Well, that's never going to hold.
Yeah, and there's not a good way to get repair juice in there, and it's not a good material to repair, and the material itself is starting to deteriorate from age and heat and chemicals. And so Lester LeSabre, who has not stopped in yet tonight, made an incredibly generous, and tonight, Dirt Road Landing.
And a bunch of other people left.
And a bunch of other smaller donations.
And they said it was for the radiator, and Kim went out and bought a radiator.
I bought the radiator.
And she didn't get the plastic one. She got an all aluminum one that was a little more expensive.
Which totally freed me up. I spent all night working on wiring and fuel system. I've got it hooked now to the key so that we can turn it on and off with the key. And I haven't figured out starting, but I did rewire the solenoid. I moved the battery from this side to that side so that all the wiring was just on one side. And because of weight and balance, they put the battery over here originally, but we're not that worried about it. We put it over there to simplify wiring, and cleaned up the engine bay. You've looked in the engine bay. There's a lot less cumbersome garbage in there. And if we hadn't got the new radiator on order, we'd have had to fart around with something that we'd have to redo again anyways.
Okay, I want to say hi to 38 because he's going to disappear. Okay, go ahead. I watched him go all the way up.
Oh, Ray! Hey, welcome in.
And you're talking about going on and on and on and on. I got to say hi to Ray before you.
You're not stressed yet, Ray, for No Name Nationals? Well, you better get stressed because it's time to be stressed.
Well, the reason we're relaxed is first of all, we don't have real complicated cars. and we got it done. We started working on it before John was putting his numbers up on the wall.
They're not fast cars.
And they're not fast cars. But
I've been working on mine for
ready.
2 years, and we've been working on his for 10 months?
Yeah.
They're getting pretty good. They're getting pretty good. Do you want to skip that ad so you can keep talking to chat?
Yeah. I'm gonna skip it.
And I got some relays in here, and I noticed that I probably need a ballast resistor.
Yeah, because you're
on that coil.
Because
that coil got hot, and I was like, oh, that's probably a low resistance coil. So either I need a different coil or I need a ballast resisted coil.
Yeah, it says I don't think plastic should have anything to do with radiator. The plastic, they get carried away. Oh, here we go.
Thanks, Fairway.
We got another
early onset generosity. I love it. Love to see it. Thank you so much.
What amazes me is to see cars with plastic suspension parts, big old sway bar links that are made out of plastic, and I don't know. I guess it works. I'd much rather have a piece of steel on there.
Dirt Road Landing made Buffalo Campo dance earlier, but I had to drag him up here to dance with me.
But it looks like when it's a verified channel, they show up in gray. What's a verified channel?
You guys are all verified.
Do I get verified? I thought I was.
I think you pay extra for verification.
Oh.
You're verified. Put your credit card in. They send you money.
38 says, Kim, had to swap the engine in the mess 10. Mess 10. Stayed on last Saturday evening and had it about done when I went to bed on Monday. No stress.
It helps when you have a vehicle that runs and drives and is pretty much stock design from the start. Like, that's nice. I don't know what your S10 looks like, though, but like this was a basket case when I got it, and it now it's got the wrong engine in it, and I'm trying to make it work, and it's not simple. It's just all night, and I feel like I just made like a little bit of progress. I worked all night, and he comes out here and he looks at it and he gets ill and has to go back to the house. He's like, oh, this thing again.
I had a busy day, so I was kind of whooped before we came up here. Those below minus temperatures are history.
That's because global warming. Hey, every summer we have global warming. Every winter we have global climate change.
Oh, 38 says the MES 10 is 5.3 LS swapped.
No, shoot.
What's MES 10? Which is MES 10? I don't know what he's talking about. How did I miss this?
You swapped out an LS engine in like 2 days?
Raw Dog's here. Good evening.
Ray, you're just on a different level than us then. And I can admit to that.
Ray, what's going on with the most interesting car you have? Well, I like 59 Chevys. But other than that, the most interesting car you have is the V6 swapped Corvair. You still have that? How's that project going? Okay, there. Subscribers being authentic and having a complete and active public channel profile. Hey, John Cope's here. Hey, thanks for the picture. You sent me a couple pictures, but you sent me one of a Mercury Zephyr Z7 to make Dean happy. It's not a Z7, it's a Z7. But yeah, it's a pretty cool picture. Thanks.
I just saw a new video from John.
In fact, I just showed everybody on. I just did the John Wilburn photo sharing with the picture you sent me. 38 Racing Sleep. What's that? Oh yeah, man. That's how I was for years and years and years working aircraft stuff. I was sleeping 2 hours a day, 2.5 hours a day, 3 hours sometimes, and I just did it. Now I can't do that anymore. I don't know what.
You don't wear yourself out.
I don't know. Age. It was 3 years ago when I was up in Oregon, walking across the hangar one day. I thought, this feels different, and I went over and I'm thinking I got to sit down for a few minutes, and that's when I started feeling like this, and now it's just constant.
Too many years of diabetes. And
If I
eating fast food. And
if I do stuff for 2 or 3 hours, it's like, ugh. I gotta go sit down. I gotta go sit down.
We don't know how much more time any of us have left. But,
38.
When you get to 71, you got to slow down a little.
38 races. Says the B6 Corvair will be back, hoping this winter.
Awesome.
I've told you the one I did. We put the radiator up front and ran the tubes up underneath like a Pantera, and yours is in the back, which is kind of interesting. I mean, Corvair is cooled in the back to begin with, so I don't know. May have to shield that off or something. I don't know. Mark Sauvé, Z7. Yeah, it's a Z7. You probably haven't heard that a lot. Yeah, I've called it a Z7 forever, and then Dean doesn't like that. Dean's down under, and he calls it a Z7 just to give me a hard time. Gearhead says, me either, but oh, it can't work like that anymore.
That's okay. A lot of us are like that. I've noticed a lot of people in our chat are sort of past their building years, and they like to watch us go. And that's awesome. We appreciate that people are here. I don't know why people who have any. I don't know. I'm sorry. I interrupted myself, and I'm done.
Well, I'm just trying to keep up the chat. I'm missing a lot of chat. I'm sorry, everybody.
I'm glad you guys are here, hanging out with us, keeping us company. I hope we can teach some people some stuff. What's John Kopeth? Oh, Mama M3's here.
Mama M3.
Rob came in. Everybody's here.
Well, Mama M3 says, okay, Damien and I are done for the night. We had a very successful day. Dropped the gas tank in the bus. Sending unit is bad. Got one on order. Dragged the bus out front for the tow truck on Monday. Mark Sauvé, I'm Canadian, and my Camaro is a Z28. Yeah, and I always call this thing a Z7, and that's why it ended up with the name the Z Sled, my Mercury Z7. And I don't like all these cars with the Z's and X's and all that. I mean, one of them was okay, the 240Z maybe, or maybe the Z28. But then everything's got to have X's and Z's all over it. I get tired of it. And then, like Lincolns now are all crazy letters, and the Mercury's, of course, Mercury's gone. They did that. I just kind of rebel against it and call it a Z. Kim, I smell a lot of bad gas right now.
Yeah, I'm working with gas lines again. Nothing's leaking. It just stinks.
38 says the Corvair will be getting the cooling system worked on and a 5-lug swap in the front to match the rear.
Corvairs are air cooled.
Not his. It's got a 4.3 Chevy V6 in it.
Wow.
See, and that was the story with 38, is that I saw that, and I was kind of following that project, and then we met him at No Name Nationals, a 59 Chevy, and I never put the two of them together. I never realized they were the same guy until, God, I'd known him 2 years before I figured it out. It was the same person. It's like, oh, man, I remember that car. Because he kind of quit working on it, Well, I'm M3, got the pit cart running.
Nice.
Made a new plate for half pints clutch master cylinder. It was finally a good day.
Excellent.
Okay, it's scrolling by fast. Stray Bullet, I wonder what a Corvair would be like with a Porsche GT1 engine in it.
Faster is what it would be like.
Do you see if it's a Fairmont Ghia ESP or Grandad Ghia ESS? Corvair, I like her. You take a Tornado engine with the transmission that's next to it, which is what, a Turbo Hydro 425 or something. Anyway, I helped with one of those, and it was that thing was fun. It intrudes on the interior, though. It makes a two-seater out of it. So let's see. Tavo says, so XYGTHOPH111 isn't in your language. I'm not sure what that is.
What?
Very good. In my garage workshop, more like 50 degrees Celsius. Oh man, that's how it was in Arizona. When we did a lot of flight testing and doing everything in Celsius. A lot of times our flight test is 50 degrees or 51 degrees. It's like, man, it was warm out there. A lot of times it was under that, but it was always over 45, or any time in the half of the year, 45 C or higher. See, Raw Dog says they ran Florida Speedway, $72,000 purse to win. I scrolled by. I can't. It's just gone. Man, this is scrolling by fast. I'm scrolling back. They ran 100 laps for $72,000. Tony Stewart owns a racetrack. Okay. Dean Stevenson, Europe, sports sedan in America. European sports pack in Australia. Mark Sauvé. So that said, what is the cooling system like on a Fiero, V6 Fiero, maybe? Fiero's up front. What's the Fiero? Where is the? I'm sure it's up front. I'll have to go look because there's a company in the U.S. that puts Chevy V8s in Fieros. I can't think of the name of them right off the top of my head. Rodog says, I love the Lucas Oil. Late models was 900 horsepower. I'm going to scroll down. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm going to scroll down because I missed a whole bunch of them, but I don't want to. I want to keep up the chat. Dean says in Australia you could have the ESP pack on the Falcon GL Fairmont Gia in 1980. Then they had it as a Gia option package after October of 80. Rodog, I got a Flow Sports. I pay $150 a year and I get all the racing I want. Mexican Spec says, I missed something here. Yes, but it also has four-wheel disc brakes. People ask a ton of money for them now.
For which one?
I don't know because I missed the beginning of it because it flew by really fast. I don't know. I could go back and search, I guess.
I'm sorry, everybody. I'm not keeping up.
I can't keep up with it sometimes. I'm M3 Mexican Spec. No, I love my neighbor to the right. He's got a race car too, but he has kids that are sleeping. The house on the other side is vacant. Well, that's the best kind of neighbors. Except then some criminal moves in.
Hey, you never know what you're going to
You
get.
don't know what you're going to get.
We've got good neighbors.
We got good neighbors. That red house that's down there, that used to be bad neighbors, but it's vacant again.
Well, they're going to build new.
She's the one that broke into the house and used our washing machine while we were gone. I can't believe what people do. She put her clothes in our washing machine while we weren't home. She broke into the house, decided to use our washing machine, went home, came back the next day to put the stuff in the dryer, but the timer had failed, and the washing machine, like 18 hours later, is still filling, so there's a foot of water on the floor in the house.
And it's a wooden floor.
So then she called us, and I was in Las Vegas, and I was really upset. So why are you in the house? You know? She goes, well, I used to clean your house, and so that's some nonsense.
Well, she's gone now.
She is gone. Oh, that's not the only thing she
I
did.
know, but you
And-
get into
and
grumpy old
right-
man mode.
I know, I get grumpy old man, but that was a neighbor that was in a,
Not a
what
good
do you call that? What do you call people that are just staying in a house?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're just there because it's an abandoned house, so they're just there.
Mm-hmm.
See here, and a Jag Type X is a contour in disguise. Since Jag never offered a front-wheel drive, Type X was the all-wheel drive. It's Mark Sauvé saying that. Gearhead, night all, gotta get up and help shingle a roof. Oh, geez.
Ooh.
That sounds like fun.
I hope you have good weather for the shingling.
Mexican Spec at 38 Racing, both said it. Squatters. Yep.
Squatters. Yeah. You both get 4 points for knowing squatters, because, yeah, that's a thing.
Oh, so happy she's gone.
Yeah. See, there you go. There's one good thing. She's gone.
Raw Dog still can't believe the 50-50 raffle was over 120 grand. Holy crap. Oh, man. At Tony's Racetrack. It's a time of year up there for it, but fall's coming, man. I know what happens up
Not
there.
much longer today.
I know what happens in Wisconsin, and all of a sudden it's winter.
Yep. Make sure your stuff is done, but enjoy the time.
Dean Stevens says, fixed abode vagrant. Very good. When they advertise cars these days, they don't tell you anything about the mechanicals. They just focus on the trendy lefties that they depict will be driving them.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Got to have the screen with all the stuff.
Junk.
38 Racing says, yeah, better odds than Powerball.
Heck yeah. Yeah, you know somebody in the house is probably going to win that money.
Mexican Spec says, as I understand it, the Contour got better stereo than the Jaguar did, which seemed backwards to me. But at Garofano, when my niece moved, I changed the locks first day. Never know who had the key.
Jeez.
Stray Bullet says, I wonder if anyone won the lotto tonight. Oh man, yeah. Dr. Goes here. Hey, it was 55 high today when took mom fishing in northern Wisconsin. Yeah, it was cool here too. It got up in lower 60s or something, and it was 59 when we walked up here, which is for this time of year seems cool to me. Stray Bullet, I'm positive that I didn't win. Dean Stevenson, the Contour was 85% different to the UK Ford Mondeo. The Jaguar X-Type was based on. See, Mondeo, I never even seen one of those up close. I've seen pictures of them. Kevin said, 2 people in Ohio won $1 million each. No Powerball winner.
$1 million?
Man, I'd like to win $1 million. I could get my car painted.
Woo!
Just the way.
We could go to the grocery store and buy anything we want.
Mama M3 says, what's Kim working on? She's working on her Bronco II. You missed that whole thing, didn't you? Oh, Mike N says he's lurking. Kim put... Oh, you're going to get a camera over there?
I'm gonna. That's what I'm doing.
Good.
You deserve the camera too.
Because then she...
You guys earned camera too. I'm doing it.
Because she could see that
Let me wash my hands. But yeah.
So she got a lot of people in here already saw this. She made that crazy intake manifold to replace the injection manifold because the 2.8 was carbureted, but the 2.8, 2.9, nothing's really interchangeable. So she made an intake and put a carburetor on it and fixed the distributor so it would work.
We got a new motor in this Bronco and got it running last Saturday during the stream.
Started during the stream, just boom, it fired right up with a homemade intake manifold that's really crazy looking. And
a Holly 1920.
And a distributor and all this stuff, and it fired off first time. So then now she's it did. We cranked it to see if it had cranked, and then you turned the key on or the ignition, and boom, fired right up. That's the first time. Yeah, it did. So They're saying, yeah, camera 2.
Camera 2. That's what you guys deserve. I've been busy.
Kevin Smith says, I could adjust the millions. You know what happens when you win the lottery? All of a sudden, you got relatives you never knew about.
Right?
And they're going to come after you with lawyers.
Maybe.
Mexican Spec says, the contour was bad. I remember contours. The door handle was not connected to the lock. No mechanical connection. Really?
Ugh, that does sound bad. Wouldn't want to have that.
The one I never... I see pictures of the Mondeo, but I don't know what that is. So, anyway, now Kim's getting... Because, you know, we had to just hotwire it. So now, last night she was up here all night. And
Wiring.
And she got the key switch so it works, and headlight switch so it works. You don't have to come up here and twist wires together to turn the headlights on. Well, what time is it? I got a short coming out at midnight. Oh, that's another hour away. It's a short tonight that I put up about LED headlights. So I'll give you enough of a preview on that. But I hope
a video about the Bronco.
I hope everybody looks at that. Let's see here.
This past week I did a video about the Bronco, so it's not like it's like a secret project. It's just not everybody has time to watch everything. I understand.
Oh, Pit Snipes here. Hey, stay away from Mondeo, Buff. Stick with the Ford Ka. Oh yeah, I mean the Ka. I've been in a Ka. I drove one of those in England. I loved it. I just, why didn't we get those? You know, I don't know. They decided that U.S. customers want single car vehicles that weigh 8,000 pounds. I don't know.
Exactly.
I like the little Ford Ka. The markup, yeah, and the banks will finance you up until they won't, because you owe so much money. Everybody's got to be upside down in those trucks.
Oh yeah, they are. Okay. See if the cat will turn on.
See if the cat will cook. I'm not cooking any cats. Okay, if I go blank, it's because the cam didn't work. Oh, the cam did work.
Can they see it?
Well, I expect they can see it. I can see it.
Okay. So that's what we're working on.
Buddy Carpano says, I give $1 million if they can fix my legs.
Man, I would too. To have the energy I had when I was a kid again.
Well, Mexican Spec says, I bet those engines couldn't pass the U.S. emissions requirements with the Ka and the Fiesta. Well, of course not, because they didn't make them. They didn't make them pass. The only way, yeah, and I mean that's a lot of it. They don't. If they're not going to sell them in the U.S., they don't go to all the trouble to make them meet the safety and the emissions requirements. But I guess after 25 years, I'll be able to do that. It's just now I got to save money for that because I kind of want one, but I don't know. It's like kind of want one and being able to get it's two different things.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be able to get one.
I don't know.
You know what though? The one I drove in England, it was really cool because it had a leather interior in it. It was beautiful interior in this little car, And I told the guy, I said, man, the guy that owned it that was driving to work, I said, I really like this. He goes, you don't like this? This is a girl's car. He goes, this is my wife's car. I just drove it today,
Car?
And he goes, men don't drive these. And I go, well, I like it, Man, leather interior on a Ford Ka. What a nice car that was.
A girl's car.
That's what he told me.
Don't buy our cars. They're for girls.
He was the program manager at the time, this British guy. He told me, men don't drive these. Well, I'd drive it. Well, Con, my youngest, he told me the same thing about, there was another car I really liked.
Crazy. Why are you...
What's the little...
Do this so they can see you. Oh, jeez. Very good.
Now I can move. I'll take care of it.
Perfect. Look, you're under the No Name Nationals banner and the whole thing.
Okay, so, I don't know what I was saying. I got interrupted. Back down
Girls' cars. You were talking about
those cars. Oh yeah, Con tells me.
The unnecessary
my youngest,
gendering of vehicles.
My youngest son, there's a car I like. It's the little what's the Hyundai sports car? Somebody's going to get points here.
Sonata.
What?
I don't know, Elantra?
No, it's a little sports car. It's a little. It might be a 4-seater that you can't get anybody in the back seat, or it might be a 2-seater. It's a cute little coupe. Yeah.
Just take this hose outside and drain the stinky gas out of it.
Okay, I just can't think of the name of that Hyundai. I want to tell a story of my Tiburon. You're right. Mark Sauvé, you get a couple points for that. The Tiburon was my youngest son. He told me the same thing. He goes, "Oh, Dad, that's a girl's car. You don't want that." So, man, I'd love to have one of those. He told me the same thing. Yeah, Mama M3 says, I wish UTG would have kept the Slant 6 Miata. Yeah, you know what? He said he couldn't get anybody to drive it, and that's when I took that job up there, and it was supposed to be a month in Maryland. I ended up there for 2 years, but he did all that, and then he got rid of it during that time I was up there. I would have driven that thing. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
He was grouchy. He couldn't find anybody that he was comfortable working with at that big shop, and he had to get rid of that big shop. And he was. I can understand.
I think he got in over his head a bit with that big shop. He had a big dream about
Yeah.
All these people coming and working in a shop and doing all this, but people don't want to go in there and work in that shop for free. You know, people don't have that kind of time. They have jobs and things.
And
you know,
after a little while, Tony realized that he didn't want to do personnel management.
Right.
He didn't know how to handle that part of what it would have taken to. And if you look at the other places that did that, had big groups of people doing YouTube content in shops, they all went bankrupt. And Tony saw the writing on the wall.
Maybe that's it too.
That he didn't want to go bankrupt trying to build something bigger than him. He was just like, well, I can make good money just being me. And
he's got a shop right now. We've been to that shop.
It's the right size for what he does.
It's about a third of the size of that other shop.
Oh,
yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, maybe a quarter of the size. But it's mostly shop, and then it's got an office in the back and a bathroom. But it's plenty for a YouTube channel. And the other one was, when he got that place, I said, Tony, man, because I was there the day he got it. And I looked at that place, and I got a good idea what real estate rents for there. And I thought, man, if I rented this, I'd be nervous as hell. I'd be trying to get work through here. And he goes, why? He goes, this isn't a shop, it's a studio. And I'm thinking, man, this is an expensive place, you know. But I think, I don't know, he downsized correctly. He did good there.
He had a pretty good idea of what was going to work correctly for him, and it is.
And he's got plenty of room. He's got plenty of room for what he's doing. E-Fog's here. Good evening. Pitt says, I'm going to rebuild a Trans for 99. Rebuild a Trans for 99 Ranger. That's as fun as it gets here.
Oh, that sounds just lovely.
Well, you know how Kim learned to do automatic transmissions. Just dove into them.
Open one up.
Open one up. When you put it back together,
if it's already broken, the worst you can do is ruin it.
And when you put it back together, if it works well,
you've made big win.
Big step in the right direction. Then all you got to do is just learn all little stuff to make them better. You know, pay attention to John Cope, and
I mean,
pretty soon John Cope and the two Johns, John Cope and John Wilburn, both automatic transmission guys.
The reality for me always was the first one was not going to work. I was going to ruin the first one. I always knew that. So.
Barry Kuda says, my brother had a Ford Ka. I didn't tell him I thought it looked like a vacuum cleaner. I got into trouble criticizing a 79 Nissan Fairlady. It's the first, man, my throat. I got to put a cough drop in. The first generation Ford Ka is the one I like. The second gen, it's like they ruined it. That first one, it looked kind of like it was just it reminds me of what they should have done with the Volkswagen Beetle. You know, it was that kind of size car, maybe even a little smaller. Just a perfect little runaround car. Doesn't use a lot of gas and drives so nice, you know. And then that one that I drove with the leather interior. I mean, it was just like a really classy interior in this little car, you know. Man.
I don't know. The American market doesn't like the small cars. They like the gas mileage, but they don't like the small cars.
EFOG says, "Hello, Kim. What you working on?" Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Throw the other thing.
Put the other camera on. Let's see if I can do this well.
I'll point it down in here so you can see.
Hang on. I'm trying to get. There's the dual cam.
I'll point it down in here so you guys can see.
Somehow I got messed up again here.
See this bird's nest of wires? I'm trying to turn this into.
What, Colleen taking off?
You can't see me.
Oh yeah, she's taking off. Okay. Take care and thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. Good luck with the project.
So Kim, can you
Keep
put
us
that?
Up to date.
Can you point that on the intake manifold so everybody can see that? Oh, you got that janky piece of metal in the way. They can't see anything.
Can't see anything.
Well, she made that intake. It kind of reminds me of the Chrysler cross ram manifold, big long runner, and it kept the carburetor under the hood because if she put a carburetor on top,
it used to come up and come forward.
Yeah, if she put
it comes up, over, down, and it's got a holly on it.
If she put a carburetor on top of where that injection had been, she would have had to put a big bubble in the hood or cut the hood or something. So she made that manifold out of sheet metal. It works so well, I can't believe it.
We haven't tested it a lot, but right now it's working.
Yeah, Kim's making spaghetti. But she's trying to de-spaghetti it.
No, I mean, it was worse. If you can believe that, it was worse.
What is this?
Now it's more better than the worstness.
What is this? Ford and Gate decided to share the same face. I don't know what that is. The second gen car was trash. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I just didn't like the way it looked. See, Dr. Ghost says, I saw a guy with a bi-wing plane, add a jet under the plane to boost its piston radial. Now you can hit over 300 miles an hour and climb like a rocket. You know, if that's the one I'm thinking it is, that guy's been around for a little while, and he flies at air shows sometimes. And he's like crazy.
Like crazy, huh?
Dean Stevenson says, oops, fate. Gate, LOL. I'm not sure what. Oh. Where was that? Ford and Fate. I don't know what that is. Ford and Fate decided. Straight bullet, the ram horn.
Yeah, it does look like a ram horn.
Yeah, Raw Dog. So what would be the most ridiculous thing to put a jet engine on? I'd say a lawnmower. Shopping cart.
Jet engine?
Oh, man.
Lawn tractor is a good one.
Skateboard. How can you crush the skateboard? Yeah. Pitt says we put 4 jet engines on a hovercraft. The Marines like it. What is this? DEA. What are you doing, Dean? You know, when we close it out in the evening, we stop streaming, which stops the stream, but the broadcast is still there, so I could start streaming again. And then eventually I end broadcast. It shuts it off. So what I do is I stop streaming, and I'll sit here and watch for a few minutes while you guys are doing all this finished and all the talking to each other and timing each other out and everything. And then I'll shut it off. Gives me something to do for a few minutes where I can rest my voice. Stray bullet, I wouldn't mind having a jetpack. Oh man, just hope you don't run out of fuel while you're way up there.
I don't know. The problem with the jetpack is it's just dangerous.
Mexican Spec says, Buff, if you put thought into Dean's post, your head will hurt. Yeah, sometimes I figure him out, and sometimes I'm like, huh? Just, it's like I'm missing something. Pitt says a jet engine Keurig. Ours sounds like an old railroad train. Man, that thing. I tell Kim, I said it sounds like you're grinding water again. Because that Keurig machine makes all it, and it's getting louder. It's like a grinding
As it
sound.
gets older, it does louder and louder. Louder and louder.
I bought that. I'll tell a story. I bought that for my former wife, and I think she used it a couple of times. Kim came here. It was kind of dusty. I cleaned it all up, made it real nice again, and Kim has used that all day, every day. And she used that Keurig
3
machine,
cups a day
and,
minimum.
and she's got the little. She doesn't use the plastic cup. She's got a little metal cup. She puts her own coffee mix in there and everything, and she uses it and uses it. Dean Stevenson says Fiat. Oh, Fiat. Now it makes sense. He kept saying Fate, Ford and Fate. I didn't have any idea what he was talking about. Ford and Fiat. So Fiat had something to do with that original Ford car. All of a sudden, I don't like it so much.
I don't know.
Google Jado Jet Car Legend. Stray Bullet says, I fly my jetpack through the Class B airspace. You know what, Stray Bullet, when I lived in Phoenix, if I went out in my driveway and jumped up in the air, I was in Class B airspace. I was illegal if I jumped off the ground. I was in that close to the airport. You know what Class B airspace looks like, Kim? Imagine a wedding cake that's upside down, looks like this. You know, it looks like this.
Yeah.
Well, that's how Class B airspace looks. When you're close to the airport, it covers all the way to the ground, and as you go out, it's higher, higher, higher. And that way, airplanes can fly under it that are not under positive control to the big airport.
I worked on a hotel.
Okay.
And it was
in the Class B airspace.
It was at the end of the runway, right? And it was 2 stories. It was only 2 stories tall, but they wanted to build a replacement that was 3 or 4 stories. So we had to prove. We had to prove where it was located in the flight line.
Okay, so
we had to measure and we had to find the airport's monuments and document our elevation in direct relation to the airfields, monuments, and stuff like that. So we had to go out on the flight line and.
So you understand that stuff?
I mean, it's not.
Well,
I don't say I understand, but I know it exists.
Well, Phoenix, they have some tall buildings, but not real tall. But the airport was way out away from town. Well, it was a little town. Now it's the largest city in the U.S.
Yeah.
So what happened is the airport ended up being in the middle of town. So they're really restrictive about how tall buildings are in Phoenix because the airport is right there, and so they have some tall buildings, but there can't be any closer to the airport than they are.
Somewhere there's a wire that I want.
Let's see. Pitt says a healthy Keurig makes noise. Well, maybe it's supposed to make noise. That's interesting.
What's that?
That a healthy Keurig is supposed to make noise.
I mean, if it didn't make noise, it probably wouldn't pump water either. It's just the water pump makes a lot of noise. And it's just a little cheap appliance. So I'm fine with that. It's just, wow. It really makes a lot of noise.
Pitt says, no, I'm craving. I'm making coffee. Yum, yum. Well, last night you were making something else, or it wasn't last night, it was the night before. That was 2 nights ago already.
What day is today? Saturday.
Saturday.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us on a Saturday night. That's cool. You guys are amazing. I can't believe that we have such a good group of people who come here and hang out with us. Like, it's not just random people. It's like cool people that I like having here. Thank you so much. I mean, really, thank you.
Yeah, they just don't. Stray Bullet says they just don't carry very much, Josh. Jet engine strength fuel is part of their function. Yeah, they don't get efficient until they're way up there. Near the ground, they're just not so good. I mean, they make nice noise, but they're not fuel efficient at all.
Keurigs.
No, jet engines.
Mhm.
Dean Stevenson, no, the second Ford Ka was Fiat based. Oh, okay. Well, it's the first one, the one I like. The second one doesn't even look cool. It just looks like
Can you
every
see
other
I'm
small car.
soldering, or can you just see the back of my head?
I can see you right now. She's soldering. If you're in somewhere other than the U.S., I think it's soldering. If you're in the U.S., it's soldering. We just skipped the L. Oh, and I guess in Canada it's soldering. Soldering, I think. Who's the guy that does all the Mr. Carlson's Lab YouTube channel? He's in Canada, and he always says soldering, I think. And when I was in England, it was all solder. Sounded so funny to me. So there was a guy in the 70s or 80s, less than 100 miles from here, that attempted to jump the St. Lawrence Seaway in a jet-powered Lincoln. It didn't go well. Could have picked a lighter car.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, just try.
Raw Dog, what is the best airport to fly out of what country or what state in the U.S.? Well, it depends on where you are. Okay, let's go with the ones I don't like. I don't like Chicago, and I don't like Atlanta, mostly because they're just way too busy and everything's like long runs. Like Atlanta has a pretty good train system, but you still end up walking a long ways, and I'm tired of that. They're just busy places. My favorite airport of all of them I've been in, maybe some of you've been there, is Helsinki, Finland. What a great airport that is. It's not huge, but it has a lot of international flights. It's set up well. It's just it doesn't get any better. But part of it is probably because of its size. It isn't huge.
Pittsburgh has a nice airport.
I've never been into Pittsburgh. Can you believe that? I've never been to Pittsburgh.
Nashville has a nice airport too.
Nashville, yeah, but Nashville is very, very much like most U.S. airports. It's just, it's the usual, security issues and try to get to your gate and all, just the usual kind of airport. But they have food, places in there buy food and stuff.
Every
So
time.
Nashville's okay.
What is it? 2 or 3 times now I've been to Nashville Airport. Once you get in there, I had no problem getting through security. They were real nice to me, which is it can be scary going through security.
You know a difference. You know a difference with you going through security and me. You never wear shoes you have to tie. You wear shoes that slip on. And when I go through, I get through there and I'm carrying too much crap, and I gotta bend over and start tying shoes I always have a laptop with me and a bag, a small bag, but it's just such a pain in the ass, you know. I don't know. Gotta have, my friend Carl, we'd go through the airport or something. He goes, yeah, don't you feel safer now? Yeah. Dean says Fiat Abarth, I think is, some people say Abarth, some people say Abarth. I think it's Abarth. Used a VW Ford base. It's rebadged Fiat 500, built in the same factory. Never heard of the 500 rusting. It sound like the Ka does. Really? I didn't know that. Next one, Spick says it doesn't seem hot. It does something. I don't know about the heat. Pitt says Lincoln sucks. It's in a bowl. Lincoln sucks. Oh, Lincoln Airport. It's in a bowl. I've never been into Lincoln. Very good. A soldering sounds a bit, I don't know, perverse.
Soldering.
Yeah, but that word doesn't have an R in it. Oh, let's see here. Product says I flew out in Knoxville, Tennessee. That was a pretty scary airport. I didn't like it. They were almost like not going to let me fly because I only had a paper copy for my ID, not an actual copy of my ID. Yeah, you gotta have your paperwork straight. Man, when I first started flying airlines in the '70s, there was no security. You just walked in there. You had a paper ticket, and you just went in. It was like it was like getting on the bus.
When I was like 18 or 19, my buddy had an old Chevy, and the airport was only a couple years old. I don't know how old it was, but it was new enough that it was an attraction. We went out because the airport's open 24/7, so we went out one night about 2 in the morning. We hit the highway, across town, went out to the airport and rode around on the people movers. That was the thing. You ride on the people mover. You run on the people mover. And no one cared. No one asked us a question. We walked in, rode the people movers, the whole thing. Oh, how the world has changed.
Product says the roads in Tennessee are freaking horrible. Where were you?
The roads?
The roads here are great.
The roads here. Where else have you driven, I guess, is the other
Yeah, I don't know. He says you go into Kentucky and they're better. Maybe. Well, I don't know. Kentucky might be okay. I don't go into Kentucky anymore. I go around it. Because I got a problem in Kentucky. But I'm not going to go over that right now. I can't.
I think the roads in Tennessee are pretty. There's some scary places though where there's no guardrails, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, there's narrow roads, so there's no guardrails, and there's a ditch. I don't really like that.
Roads with ditches on
but as far as like the interstates and everything, God, I mean, I haven't been to states they can't get any better. They're really good.
The roads get real bad near the city. They can't afford to maintain them, and so much traffic, and it gets bad. The good roads are good, and the bad roads are bad.
Okay, Dean says, oh, man, it's gone already. Okay, back up. Dean says this is only the second gen car after 2009. Previous 96 to 2008. Okay, yeah, that's the one I drove was it's probably a 2008, 2007 or 8, because I was there in 09. And I don't remember the 09s being out yet when I was there, but I was there in 09 and drove that one that was almost new with the leather interior. And man, was that nice. Dean Stevenson's a lot of go rank if they aren't in a frozen climate. It's like it's the fake Soviet butter that Ladas. Yeah, we didn't get any Ladas. You get Ladas down under? You see one in the U.S. like every once in a while, but they got them in Canada. That's probably what you see now.
Do you see the electrical tape anywhere on that desk?
Mark Silve says, okay, could I send it to you on Facebook?
Yeah.
What are they talking about?
Okay. Let them talk about it.
I'm not a big Facebook person. I have a Facebook account.
I'm on Facebook every
I have a Facebook account so I can go into so I can go into Marketplace. I don't know, Kim. What'd you do with it? It was up here. I remember you putting it away. It was up here and you cleared it off here a couple weeks ago.
Oh, but I used that roll up last night.
Oh, okay. Well, then I was just asking if you wanted us to buy more of it. I don't know. But see, I was over in Knoxville going toward Pine Knot, Kentucky. I don't know. I've driven all the way back and forth across, like I-40 one end to the other, and then up I-81 in Tennessee, and I have never seen a bad section of road, unless they're, construction. Sometimes they're redoing it, but I've never seen anything like in California where everything's all full of potholes and oh my God. I guess they finally redid 99, which is a big road in California, but the last time I came down I-5, there were potholes. My brother-in-law had a pothole in his Chevy Suburban, and it broke the lower control arm going down the highway. Like, my God.
It's a pretty good pothole.
Or they just leave it like that,
Well,
They don't have any money in California,
No.
Largest, most populous state with the highest taxes and Shit, they can't go put some dirt in a pothole.
They got a lot of roads.
Ronald says it was all run down, so it scrolled by. Let's see. It was all run down, so I might have been in a bad part of the sentence. Yeah, or maybe it was a county road or something. The county doesn't keep up with something. I don't know.
Yeah. A lot of times you'll find the places that are economically depressed, they get, the least amount of help until people sell out and the developers come in and they convince them to spend money again.
Buddy Carafano says winters turned Boston into a pothole alley. Yeah, that's how Sharon, Pennsylvania was.
Yeah.
Sharon, Pennsylvania, they say it's the pothole capital of the world, and I tend to believe it. I don't know what's Pittsburgh like. Probably same kind of thing.
Pittsburgh it's rough. The winter
tears it up.
The winter wrecks those roads because it freezes and thaws and freezes and thaws. And once water gets in a pothole, gets into the asphalt, yuck. And
What's
then
this?
some of those roads do not have good solid bases.
Oh man, I'm trying to keep up with this chat.
There's a lot of mine subsidence.
Look at that.
There's a lot of erosion. There's a lot of water.
A rocket-powered Lincoln Continental will leave Canada.
Okay, that's what that is. Okay, Mexican spec. I see what that was. What's this one? Oh, same thing.
A rocket-powered Lincoln.
He put it up twice.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Hey, can you make sure that we don't blow ourselves up here?
Make sure we don't blow ourselves up. What are you doing?
Do me that favor.
I don't know what we're doing.
Well,
I guess I'm going to have to go away from the chat. What am I doing?
That's all right. I'm going to back this camera up so they can see what we're doing too.
Okay, then let me swap to this. What are we doing, Kim?
Right now I'm trying to drop the camera.
Okay, what's the goal to be standing?
I know. Give me a second. My brain's focused very importantly on the camera. Okay. All right. So come over here because you can't see anything from over there right now. Okay. Oh, look.
See, I'm trying to find. I want the fire extinguisher where I can reach it, and the thing that looks like a fire extinguisher is a can of red paint. Well, that was the shitty fire extinguisher.
Watch your foot.
I'm trying to get through this.
I know, but you kick that thing is well. If you need something, you can't reach it. Just say, Kim, can you reach that thing?
I know, because you can reach everything, and I can't reach everything.
They can see us. All right, so this is the fuel pump. There's two relays. They're both to keep power. Keep power I pulled out of this little harness to this first relay. This first relay turns power on. It comes from this connector here.
This is all there. Everything's over here.
I know. Everything's over here now, right? When this relay kicks on, it gives power to the coil and power to the ignition. It also gives power to turn this relay on. And then this relay gets power from here and sends it to the fuel pump.
So the fuel pump's on that relay.
Fuel pump goes to the tank now, has a filter pulling through, pushes fuel through this filter to the bypass and to the carburetor.
What did you put? Did you add some fuel?
I only added a couple gallons. That's all we had. So it
Okay,
may not,
so it has some
but not much,
fresh fuel.
but not much. And I wish I had more, but I didn't go get it. And I want to test it. So it's,
Does this have a catalytic converter on it?
No.
No.
Doesn't have anything.
Okay,
I did
so
put
how
this
much?
manifold on.
Okay, let's see if we get fuel. If we don't get fuel, we got some avgas over there. Some avgas. Okay, so are you going to try to start it or what?
No.
You got a lot of stuff. You got fuel. Well,
Something.
starting it. Yeah, bringing up some. Yeah, I think it's working.
And I can hear the overflow.
I can see it flowing, which means it's flowing, which means it's got to be going back to the tank or be spilling out of here.
I can hear it trickling out of the overflow in the tank. So guess what?
So how did you got underneath and route? What?
It's dripping fuel.
Oh yeah, that just started.
Let's find out where that's from.
It's coming from your car.
but is it from?
It's from your fitting. Yes, your fitting needs to be.
I'm gonna shut it off.
Oh yeah, and it's working well.
Hey, we have the fuel pump. We have the ignition. You hear that crack at the end? That's the ignition. When you turn the coil off, it sends a fire. So.
Where's your finger? Let me smell your finger. Yeah, it still has that old gas smell, but not as bad.
Smells a little better.
Not as bad as it did.
Yep.
Yeah, let me smell your finger.
All right, you can go back to the chat. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm standing here leaning on this. Yeah, these wires need a clean up, but yeah, they're all working. They're working. Well, so you're.
I mean, we're on the key switch.
You're pulling stuff. Too many wires.
We're on the key switch now, which is.
We're on a key switch, and I heard that because the radio came on. Your radio works indoors.
The radio.
My radio does not work indoors. I don't know why. Let's see, Raw Dog, what's your favorite? Crown, Royal, or Crown, of course. And even though I'm from Tennessee, where they make Jack Daniels. Okay. So, but I'm really not much of a whiskey drinker. Very good. I haven't tested my floatability in a long time. Okay, I don't know what. Man, I got something bit me or something up here. Okay.
Hey! Yay! Woo! Electrical. Gosh, that's a perfect.
Raw Dog, everyone here. What's your okay? We're gonna address this once, and then we're gonna get rid of that subject because Kim doesn't like to talk about alcohol. Okay, everyone in here, what's your favorite brand of alcohol and which proof are you drinking? Gin, whiskey, beer? My favorite one is gin, and I like gin and tonic. I like a nice big gin and tonic with ice in it, like on a hot day. But I can't do that much at all. And there's a small place down here that makes gin. That's probably hours south of here, and it is the best gin I've ever had. But that's probably my favorite. So we'll hear what everybody's favorite is, and then, or that they don't drink, and then we're gonna move on from that subject. Gene Stevenson, he suffered significant injuries, including broken back. What's this? I missed something. Oh, Gene Stevenson, he's best known today for his unsuccessful October '79 attempt to jump the St. Lawrence River in a Lincoln-powered rocket, right? In a rocket-powered Lincoln, where he took the place of stuntman Ken Carter. Yeah. Josh says, I don't like alcohol. He fogged rum and whiskey beer. Pitt, Crown every time. I ain't a bourbon fan. Dean, I like the fake potato salad. Fake potato salad.
Them fighting words, Dean.
Pitt says Barton's vodka. Probably vodka. It's my go-to these days. I don't like vodka a lot. I don't know. The really good Russian vodka, if it's in the freezer, yeah, I guess. But yeah, I'd still rather have a gin. Mean Street says, I like a nice bourbon, but I usually go for the Crown. Well, yeah, I mean, you know there's opinions because when you go in a liquor store, there's about 900 kinds of booze in there. They sell it all. Dean says, I don't drink. The Lincoln Continental Flying Squad. That's how I drink, but it's not very much, not very often. But I'm not. I'm not opposed to it.
Take it off and put it just on you.
You want it just on me?
For a few minutes. I gotta do.
Back to me. So,
shit.
Buddy Carfano, my ex drank herself to death, so I don't drink. Yeah, it's bad. Sorry to hear that. See, Mexican Spec. I just have a lot of cleanup work. When the water evaporates, it leaves the mud and trash it brought. Yeah, I've had that happen. I've lived in places like that. Tim, planning my no-name trip. Do they go to dinner on Thursday evening? Yes, it's Thursday evening. They start the trip down there to Lambert's about 5 o'clock, and we all go down there together. And we have a pace car that takes us through town, and they allow us to drive race cars through town as long as you can't be jerking around, leapfrogging the cars and spinning tires. You got to just drive at normal speed. And what's his name? Can't think of his name. He leads it with a 1916, I think, Model T, a stock Model T that belonged to his grandfather. So he is the pace car. We all go down there together and have a big old car show, and then we go inside and eat. It's a fun thing. Stray Bullet. I already have my New Zealand Automotive trivia question ready for Kiwi next week. Oh, so I never go into his live because he decided to have his live same time we have ours, and he did that after we had ours. So I don't know. Maybe he just didn't want us there.
Well, Tony was doing other nights, and their group decided which night worked for them, and that's how it goes.
Finish.
We don't care. Go there for a while, come here for a while. Go there on Tuesdays, come here on. But some people watch after the fact too.
Finish says, "Hey everyone, I got my rig to pull my car to No Name Nationals. I'm borrowing a buddy's truck and trailer. I'm very thankful. This is vintage.
Oh, that's excellent.
Vintage is Tanner.
That's fantastic. Make sure you take very good care of it. That's a generous offer.
Brown Dog, what's our favorite mud runner vehicle? I have no idea. Don't know about those. Tim says, guess I'll leave Tuesday. It's a 2-day drive, so I'll get there Wednesday night. Maybe we'll burn on Thursday. Thursday's an interesting day. And we get there Thursday. We kind of settle in. No, we get there Thursday. We get there Wednesday night. Yeah, and then we're there all day Thursday.
Do you have hotel reservations for Wednesday?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, 38 says, Buff, it's called respect. Turbo Tom, I couldn't think of his name. Turbo Tom, I could see him like in my mind. Turbo Tom, I got to scroll back. Turbo Tom paces the cruise. Yeah, what is that? It's a 1916, I think. It might be a 1917. 1916, I think. It's his grandfather's Model T. It's stock, and it's in pretty good shape. It's in very good shape, and he just drives it. Yeah.
Somebody had a tech question.
Yeah, I know. It's going by so fast, Kim. I can't.
I don't know why you don't know how to use the scroller.
Because then I lose the new stuff. At some point, I just skip it.
Pitt's asking a real question for the panel. Got an injector or two not acting proper on the 93 Dakota. You want to check to make sure they're getting the right voltage, and you want to check if you it depends on how you want to do it. You could remove them from the vehicle and bench test them for flow and for operation. So voltage and injector operation. The other way you can test them is you can, pull the injector plug off while the engine is running and see if it makes a change to the engine running. And if it doesn't, that's obviously a problem. But, voltage and injector operation. There you go. That's a crummy job to have to do. You're going to have to change the O-rings or else they're going to leak when you put them back in on an older vehicle like that. Mark says those Dakotas are known for bad fuel pumps as well. Well, there's a difference there. It's easy enough to determine if the fuel pump is bad with a fuel pressure test. If you've got good pressure and the engine's still running not right, then it is. It's injectors. New fuel pump, never guarantees anything. Check your pressure.
Yep.
Check your pressure because it might be a fuel pressure regulator or something like that. Check your pressure. Okay, you can go back to chat.
Pitt, I want an Edelbrock. Get rid of the injector. Do what Kim did. Make
you
a
can
manifold.
buy them. Who
Make
is
a
it?
manifold. Make a manifold.
Speedway has them. No, for
For that.
a 3.9. Do they make it? Do they make a manifold for a 3.9? I'm not sure. I've never looked for one. They make them for the 318 and the 360s. Easy to get. You could listen to the injector with a stethoscope. Should have a sharp click. You could try what 38 Racing will have. That will, if one is different, that will obviously bring pressure is right. New regulator and pump. Okay. Yeah. You could pull them all off and bench test them for flow. But I think those have clips that hold the injectors into the rail. I'm not sure. If they do, then you can just take the whole rail off and just crank the engine and watch them spray, but that's messy. But I would also recommend you do a little bit of YouTube University. Do some searches, search some forums, watch some YouTube videos so you're good and prepared. Ask some people in some chats. Mark says Kim could make a custom intake manifold to put a carb on a 3.9. I could. You could probably do it with an adapter of some sort. I mean, it's not like Fords. They have like a long row of ports, but like Mopars are still some kind of weird shape in the middle. They make the shape different, so you can't just slap a carburetor on it, but you should be able to make an adapter. You don't have to make a whole new intake manifold on a Mopar. Not a bad idea, Cameron. I'm not making things up. Other people have showed me all these ways. They're new injectors. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry. I mean, it's possible.
Start pulling them off one at a time and see if one is working.
Well, it's also possible a mouse chewed a wire under the dash and they're not getting the signal from or one of the prongs on the connector for the computer is. So check your voltages because it could be a bad voltage. It's happened, you know. When they get to be this old, 20 years old, 25, 30 years old, you know, there could just be corrosion in one of the connectors for no reason that makes any sense. We've pulled connectors apart. They're all beautiful except the one is all corroded and nasty. You're like, what happened there? I don't know. A bug crawled in there and got fried and died and rotted it. Something. Listening will show you an electrical fault. Try what 38 Racing. Ray knows his stuff. He knows how to fix it. Yeah, electrical test will follow. That's where I'm headed. Yeah, I mean, sometimes just taking everything apart, cleaning it, and putting it back together fixes problems that you can never quite find. I'm sorry. It sounds like you're talking about all the parts you've replaced. You've been chasing this problem. I hate that.
Well, I know he's been talking about it for several weeks because he's asked about it before in here. Yeah, I don't know if you can, Kim. I don't even know if those Mopar ones look like. Can you unplug them while it's running?
The injectors?
Yeah, unplug the connector. Like you said, unplug one at a time and see which one doesn't make a difference.
They're kind of out there. That white truck, we could just pop the hood on that white truck and look, but they're kind of out there. They're not like super buried in stuff on those vehicles.
Hey, well, if you can't find a stethoscope, I have a screwdriver that's about this long, and I'll put the screwdriver in my ear and then stick the end of the screwdriver on stuff. And as long as you have a straight shot, that'll work just like a stethoscope. It's amazing. Okay, Rod, you're right. I don't really want to discuss all that. But yeah, I can unplug them. Yeah, try one at a time. "38 says Hobo Freight, which is like Harbor Freight, has them cheap. Yep. I don't have one right now, but I wouldn't mind having one.
We could make one out of a piece of tubing or
So like
something.
I say, I stick a. Where's that? I could demonstrate it, but I'm silly right now.
Next,
Then I'd have
Vintage says she wants to go on a date to a junkyard to find parts to modify her car. That, along with her music taste, has won me over so far. There you go. That's.
You take like this, put the soft end of the screwdriver in your ear, and then stick this against something, and it'll transmit every bit of noise. And you can move this around. You can move the tip of the screwdriver around. You will find the noise, guaranteed. Wherever the loud spot is.
I mean, the thing of it is, they make a pretty loud tick every time they go. If it's doing it, you'll hear it, and if it's not doing it, you'll hear that it's not. Especially if you have two side by side to compare, you'll know if one of them is or isn't working. So.
Hey, Danny Boyd's here. Good evening.
Mexican Spec is not easy to get stepkids to do anything. Do not count on that.
My youngest son, his stepson, but he came and lived with me when he was 4. I met him, he was 3 or just turned 4. So he's 4. And so I'm really the only person who remembers his dad, so he wasn't a troublesome kid.
No, he's a good kid. He's got a good job.
But yeah, he's 32 years old now, He was 4 when I met him. I did a lot with him.
Oh, he's going to be a good helper. He's 3 and he likes to try. Well, yeah. Do your best to always make it fun and help it to be about him in a way. It's hard to do. When you're in the shop and you're trying to get things done, it's hard to slow down for a 3-year-old's pace. But if you can do that and teach him to love it, I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't. Mechanics don't. It's a tough life.
Yeah, and Pitt understands though. He goes, he's vacuum tubing. I look for vacuum leaks and a long screwdriver. God, these guys that have got the new smoke machines, and they're not that expensive. Look, a smoke
Pitt knows what he's doing. He's just humoring us.
Took a smoke machine up to find vacuum leaks. I can't believe how well that works, man. I mean, if I had a shop where I had customers' cars coming in, one of the very next things I bought would be a smoke machine.
What was I doing? Oh, I got to go out and look in the trunk of the Dart for I think I have a spare ballast resistor.
What is this? Right up. Somehow I want to make a drivable garbage can with 4 wheels, engine, steering, and wheel pedals. Spend your time on something that's good. I mean, that's kind of a
that guy who made
a fun joke.
The mobile dumpster.
I saw a guy just recently with a dumpster. And there's a line of dumpsters. He's got one of them. He put a door in it. And he goes in there, and there's a little house in there, and he closes the door, and the dumpster's locked, so nobody can throw garbage in that dumpster. And he lives in it.
Who was it says they got yelled at for holding the flashlight wrong? Yeah, that's when Dad's having a bad night. Needs to fix his car for work tomorrow morning. It's taking too long, and then he takes it out on the kids. That's a terrible mistake. What makes the smoke? Just to smoke a cigarette and blow it in there.
Oh, but Pitt says he already smoked the vacuum system. I don't know what makes the smoke in those smoke machines, but they sure work.
Mineral oil. It burns at a very low temperature. It's the same stuff they use in the little.
What'd you say now?
Mineral oil.
Oh.
It's the same thing they use in the little choo-choo trains that blow smoke. Mineral oil burns at a very low temperature.
Finish says, I work on cars, drive an ambulance, and play music. That kid is going to pee his pants when he gets to see the ambulance.
Oh, yeah. Looky.
Turn on the siren. Let's see. Danny Boy makes it fresh out of gin. You're out of gin. I had 3 16-ounce Coors Lights.
Okay, I need your flashlight, but I'll be back. Oh, I got to wash my hands.
Where are you going?
I told you.
I know, there's a lot going on right now. I can't remember what you said.
I said, I got to go out to the dart and find the spare ballast resistor because this thing needs a resistor.
Okay. Where's the radios?
I don't need the radio to go out to the
I know, but I like. What happens if you fall or trip over something or something, and then I'm just sitting here waiting and it's taking too long? Just take the radio. It's so clip it on your
I don't
pocket.
know where it is. It's over
Okay,
by the-
they were here and you took them somewhere.
All right, I quit.
You took them somewhere
I quit.
because you took the radios.
Too hard. All these steps.
Well, you gonna take the flashlight?
I'm getting the radios. I'm on a Mexican radio. Do 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 do. I'm on a Mexican radio. Boom boom boom. I'm on a Mexican.
Your hands are clean.
Radio. Oh whoa whoa whoa. I'm on a Mexican radio. My hands are clean.
See, I don't want her handling that flashlight with gasoline and nasties on her hands. Because when I get home, you're gonna laugh. I get in bed. I put that thing in my bed somewhere where I know about where it is and I can reach it. Because when the lights go out and I wake up and I got no electricity, I want that light where I can find it. And I don't want gasoline and oil and muck all over it, So that's why I want her hands clean. And then she thinks I'm being mean and there's too many steps. And Raw Dog, I have a brush mower, pull behind brush mower for my UT that like a bush hog. Down here they call them a bush hog. Up north they call them a brush hog. I use up my woods for the trails and the grass grows up too high and I knock it down with a brush mower. And so you call it a brush mower. Yeah, and like in Ohio they call it a brush hog. And anywhere in the South they call it a bush hog. But I know what they are. Yeah, don't fall in a swimming pool. Yeah, swimming pools, yeah, well, I suppose you could fall in it if you walked up on part of it, but it's like a half a swimming pool now. You could just walk straight into it. We got to finish that. It got overgrown in the summer. We got to finish that in the wintertime because all that brush and everything will die. Yeah, Mexican radio. Wall of voodoo. Let's see, I can move around my house in the dark. Practice that just in case. You don't know what my house is like. I can be in a perfectly clean room with nothing in it, and I will stub my toe and break it on something.
Careful.
Guaranteed. Mexican Spec says he can move around his house in the dark. He doesn't need the flashlight.
We can't. We're messy. There you go. Thank you for letting me use your nightstand.
Flashlight. It says I got sprayers that I load with mineral spirits.
Mineral spirits.
I piss pound everything.
Okay,
I need a dedicated flashlight.
A brand new, old style.
Ballast
Resista.
Where'd you get that?
Out of the dark.
Oh, it's one you already had?
I carry a spare.
You carry a spare.
Now,
well, now you don't have a spare. Now when we're stuck halfway to No Name Nationals, I'll go, "Where's the spare?" And you'll go, "It's in the Bronco that's in the garage."
Yeah, it's in the other vehicle. It's the other.
I haven't watched
the thing is we can easily get a super coil or something like that. We're going to be traveling during the day with two vehicles. We've got everything on our side.
Last year on the way over there.
Plans to get there. Yeah, last year.
On the way over there, we got stuck in your car, and we had to go rescue you with my car. And then coming back, my car got wrecked, so you rescued me with your car.
Wait, why did I need rescued last year? I don't remember.
You had to crawl underneath, and you were trying to attach something that's fallen off your car.
The e-brake cable was.
And we had to go buy some hardware.
We didn't. We could have made it work.
But we went and we bought hardware and fixed it. You're right.
You make it sound more dramatic.
I don't know. We got in my car and went and bought stuff and brought
and
it
it
back.
was good that we had that.
And we had the jack. You had it jacked up. We were at some place in a parking lot with your car jacked up, and you were underneath trying to fix something. So, yep.
My car was really rubbing too on that drive shaft. We had a different drive shaft this year.
Mark Silvey.
We're in a much better place this year than last year.
Yeah, I have one of those little tap lights on my nightstand in case of power outage. Not very light, but it works. Josh Holman, I buy LEDs off eBay. I can make my own lighted devices. I got a lot of flashlights around, but this one is the one I always carry around, and it's got rechargeable batteries in it, so I just got to remember to recharge them.
I'm not too worried about me because I can still see pretty okay in the dark and stumble around, but I understand.
I trip over stuff, so I always carry a flashlight out here. In this yard, well, Kim, you say you're just fine without a flashlight, and what'd you trip over?
Stupid trailer head.
You tripped over a tow dolly. A freaking tow dolly. She smashed into it and fell over. So
hurt.
You should have
fell down on the ground.
You should have had a flashlight with you.
You're right. There's a big light out front, and I still.
She says she can get over the ground without tripping, but she fell over
It happens.
Freaking tow dolly. A black tow dolly at night.
It happen to anybody. Yep. Messy.
It says I have flashlights in the cabinets and above my sink. So you got to walk to the cabinets or to the sink. I just want one right there where I can grab it. Of course, I also have my phone within reach, so I guess I could use the light on the phone, but yeah, I don't know.
My problem is I'm too dumb to use the light.
And then this thing has this. It has bright, and it has not so bright, and then it has this. And if somebody breaks in, like points a gun at you, you're supposed to do this to them so they'll run away. I'm sure that'll work. Yeah, we keep some 38 Racing says he's got so many battery lights. Yeah, we do too. It's just that's the one that I keep with me. Finish says, I was planning to just drive my satellite all the way to Sykeston, but I procured a nice tow rig. I'll spend more on gas, but I'll get there sooner and we'll wear out my cars. But yeah. Yep. We're driving the two cars.
It's really nice to have it and not need it.
It says, I live in a 30-foot RV. I lost my favorite shorts somewhere.
Sure.
Let's see. Mexican Spec says, I have an old phone to play cards, another one from here. My sounds at night, I get charged in the morning. You know, my old phone died. All of a sudden, the screen quit working, so I liked that phone because it was an extra phone. But it doesn't work now. Danny Boyd says, all my old phones are powered off. Mexican Spec says, flashing light is bad, but I don't know why they do that. They say that's to get rid of an attacker or something. Like they give a shit about that, you know. They probably just beat on you harder. Or take it from you. Stick it in your eye. It's a safe choice. You plan on racing it. For the first time, I won't be racing when I'm driving down. Oh, are you bringing you 59 Chevy? 38?
No, he said something else already.
You're not bringing the 59? You're only bringing something else? You need a car transporter. Mexican Spec says this is the only way to play solitaire games. It's from the U.S. and not compatible with the system there. It says I've been breaking in a new phone this week. It's like a freaking job.
Fun. It is like a job, learning all the new features and garbage. What a pain. What is all this crap?
Oh my God, look at this thing. She's got this barrel of snake she just brought in.
Oh,
What is that from?
I got really brave, and I thought maybe well, it's one of the wiring harnesses. I think it's the wiring harness from the. I don't know where.
You don't even know what car it's from? You're going to try to use it?
I'm looking for the harness that plugs into the alternator. I know that I had it.
Okay, so you're looking for a connector and some wires.
Yeah.
Mexican spec says, I mean, flashing light is bad to point into the camera at us. Some people have bad. Oh, you know what I did? I didn't point that into the camera. I pointed it away from the camera, but I pointed it in a way that you could see it like that. Oops.
I shouldn't have done that.
But I didn't point it toward the camera. If I point it toward the camera, it'd blind the shit out of you.
I apologize.
Let's see.
Anyone that's been bothered by this?
Shit, I was screwed because I let my old Google Voice phone number expire, and I had to call tech support to fix my yeah. Strabo, they should make a flashlight that has a low beam, high beam, and 12 gauge. And 12 gauge, yeah.
That's the best way to deter. To make sure your flashlight has.
Yeah, Mexican spec says, I bought my son a new phone last Christmas. He dropped it quickly and cracked the screen. Man, Con, my youngest son, he's 32 now, but when he was a kid, he got phones. I think he dropped every one of them in the toilet. I go, what are you doing, you know? And parents gotta buy a kid a phone, you know. 38 bucks. We're bringing 3 cars down with only 2 drivers, and yes, the 59s will be there. Oh, good, two, more than one 59. Do you have a 59 El Camino up there somewhere? Like a parts car or something? I thought I saw a 59 El Camino there one time. One of your like views or something. I got to get a protector for my new phone. It's slick as hell. Yep. Yeah, I got a rubber thing around the backside of mine. It's not real padded. I had one of the real fat padded ones, but they're real clumsy. This one's enough that I can bump it and it doesn't hurt anything. But man, this thing is really thin and really slick, and it's so easy to drop without a thing on it.
You were talking about you want an extra cigarette lighter? There's 2. They don't have to stay in that house.
Oh, God, is that ugly? Oh, that's ugly. Yeah.
Van.
This is for your van?
It came out of the van. It was conversion thing.
Okay, so what I can do is I can just
you could just unscrew them, take them out.
I can take them out of there and I can put them into. Yeah, okay, because I kind of want one of those. Do you have one on your Dart? Do you have a PowerPoint cigarette lighter, whatever you call it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can. Do we have a male end? See, Vintage says, I dated a girl with epilepsy almost a year ago. Ever since then, I pay a lot of attention to flashing lights.
Oh,
really?
My father has epilepsy.
My grandmother did. Oh, they had to finally make her stop driving because she had too many crashes.
My dad, too. He flipped cars over and stuff.
38, I'm still rocking a 6-year-old Kyocera.
Yeah.
And I will be for a time as I bought 3 more. Let's expect my kid needs a phone plus a tablet for school. The day before yesterday, he was at 3 hospitals watching and evaluating. Very good. Isn't a shotgun excessive? Someone could get hurt. Well, that's the whole idea. Someone comes in my house with a shotgun, man, I don't know.
There we go. I think this one.
See, Mark Sauvé, I had a Windows Phone 7. The guy at the cell phone place said it was the best thing out there. When I renewed my contract 3 years later, the person says, oh, you have one of those. Yeah. Mexican spec. I had a Huawei, the one not allowed in the U.S. Got so hot it blew up like a balloon. Yeah, nothing like a Chinese phone. I had a Chinese, what do they call it? It's about the size of a phone, but it's just a solar powered power pack, whatever. It's just a bunch of batteries that you could plug a phone into to extend the life of the phone battery, you know. And that thing, I used to just set it up in the window, by the window that's up above. It's in the kitchen above the sink, and it just sit there with the sun on it, you know. It'd keep it charged up. Well, one day that thing was all like this fat. Oh no! I put it in something and I carried it like a plastic box or something. Carried it to the convenience center where you take all the garbage, and they have a special steel box there to put bad batteries in. They took it. Yeah, but there might be oh man, it's gone already. Scroll back. Yeah, but there might be an El Camino out. I don't know, out there too. One's a 348 tri-power. Wow.
Here we go. I found a mirror.
Mark Silve says, I had a Huawei as well. I liked it, but it didn't start swelling up at the end. What's the other Chinese phone that's really popular? There's another one that's really popular that I almost bought one from a guy that was in China, and he had them, and I was he's American, but I was gonna get it, but I'm glad I didn't. It was just like, it was cheap, and it was like it would have been like just a fun phone to have, because it was a Chinese phone that you can't get in the U.S., but they had a lot of problems with them. But it was really cheap.
I have a problem.
You have a problem.
No clue how to set up.
Oh, what's this? Mexican spec says he'll be putting up a 68 Plymouth satellite wagon. The VIN is RH, so it's not a stripper. 318 automatic. It needs work, but could be tough. Man, those are good wagons, man. Danny boy, my first smartphone was a Samsung. FPS would turn on my pocket and get hot. You know, the best phones I've had have been Samsungs. And I always tell people Samsung stuff. I hold this up and I go, these are really good. But anything Samsung makes that's bigger than this is garbage. Because I have other Samsung stuff that just nothing but failures. Oh, and the Apple, yeah, of course. I mean, I just can't afford Apple stuff. Danny Boyd goes ZTE. Samsung, I had a ZTE and it was good. I don't know. Samsung, Apple, or LG. They have stopped it at custom stuff. The Chinese phones aren't allowed there. Yeah, I think he was going to carry it in. But I don't know, maybe he would have got caught with it. Have you seen the phones where the screens? Yeah, I've seen those. They're trying to.
How many hours?
I'm trying. What? What, Kim?
How long have we been going?
Oh, God. 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Really? I got a lot done.
Yeah, Mexican spec. I've seen the ones that the screens fold. They tried to sell me one last time I was in Verizon. Tim says, I love the Razor flip phones. Yeah, that was one of the ones my son dropped in the toilet. Actually, two of them he dropped in the toilet were Razor flip phones. And one of them, we got insurance on it. And then, so they gave him a new one. And the new Razor flip phone Said Razor flip phone on it, but it was made in China. It was some piece of crap. It wasn't a Motorola, and it did not work at all. It was a piece of shit. So the one you get from the insurance is not the real one. I learned that the hard way. Oh, I finally just say, you got to stop dropping these things in the water. You know, they're not free. I have to work for every one of them. I got to work like a month for every one of those. You know, I'll say this for him. He got a lot more careful as he got older. He's got himself a good job. But he's got new cars. He was driving a new Ford pickup today, a big giant Ford pickup. I said, "Where'd you get that?" He goes, "Oh, that's my father-in-law's truck. He just let me use it." So okay.
Barry could have asked what people think of solar trickle chargers, and Mexican spec says it depends. If it is plastic, the sun will melt it. It left out for too long. Okay, so it might have a not last forever. But Pit Snipe says he has a 6500 GMC. It sits for months, and it works great to have a solar charger on it. I mean, if you know a vehicle is going to do most of its time sitting outside in the sun but not getting started, it doesn't sound like a bad thing to have.
It says China stuff is made to spec, and some China stuff is not. By according, you know where the stuff made in China is. What I found is it's like a U.S. brand name, and they have their own quality control over there. It'll probably be okay. But if it's just something that's got their name on it or something, it's sometimes you don't know.
Barracuda says I've heard that they can overcharge the battery and ruin it, but I suppose that depends on which one you buy. If you buy something very cheap and it doesn't have any voltage limiter and then the sun is very bright, it could be problematic. Like I have a charge controller for like a solar array for like on an RV and something like that, like you got to pay the price of the solar thing and the price of the charge controller. Like if you're getting something for under $20, it's not a safe piece of electronics. Let's be real. So maybe look for a brand name that has some decent reviews. Do some research on it. Like if you're gonna spend the money anyways, look into buying something that's okay, that has a charge controller that's gonna, because once it gets to 13.8 volts, it's supposed to stop working. It's supposed to, if you buy a super cheap one, it's gonna be like, Pitt says it's a basic solar panel we chuck on the dash. It costs us $10 and it saves batteries. I mean, depending on where you are too, if you're up north a ways, that you're never gonna overcharge a battery with solar. Shoot, our little lights outside, the little driveway lights, I have a bunch of those. We're in Tennessee, but there's some trees and they die in an hour because they don't charge enough in the day.
Buddy Carafano said he had one of those Nextel walkie-talkie, bright yellow. I've seen those, but never used one.
Danny Boyd, labor in China is so cheap, so easy for them to exploit, that we can get things here that are just so cheap. There's like we were looking at radiators.
I was telling Kim this last night. I said, it's our current slavery. This country is so against slavery, but we're not. China is slave labor, and we just accept that. I don't know.
We exported all our labor, everything that can be packaged.
Because those people in China that are doing the work, they're not the ones making the money. No, they're just working.
No. I don't know the answer to it.
They're getting some tiny bit of money.
I don't know the answer to it. You know what I mean? Because the gap is so wide. Like they're like tariffs. 100% tariff is not enough to stop people from buying Chinese goods because it's still cheaper than we can produce it here. How much would an American-made radiator cost here? Probably 500-600
Oh,
bucks.
we know. When I go to buy the parts, yeah, we have $800
It
in
costs
$800
ten.
$800 in a $100 radiator.
It costs tenfold to pay an American company and an American worker to do the same thing. You get good American goods here. You can't produce garbage here. You have to produce something decent. And at that point, the price is just, it's like, wow, wow. It's 5 or 10 times the cost. It's like, wow. I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. And
Yeah.
companies don't know how they're supposed to do it either, so they just continue to import.
I don't remember what it's called. Oh, the phone I was trying to think of, the Chinese phone, is an Oppo, OPPO, Oppo phone. And I had a friend that had one. He was going to bring one here for me, but his lasted about 6 months before it died after 6 months. So, yeah, I don't know. We're working on this problem. We got lots of pieces of equipment that might sit for a year at a time. Those cheap little solar trickle chargers save batteries. Yeah, I'm sure they do. The warden thinks I'm her slave. Oh, man. Dean Stevenson. Oh, man. Danny Boyd says, never heard of Oppo. It's a Chinese phone. Look it up. I just looked it up because that's what I was doing with my phone. I was trying to remember it, so I put in Chinese phone brands. There's Huawei. The second one was Oppo. Like, oh yeah, okay, it was Oppo. But he recommended it. He goes, this is a good phone and everything. He said, I got one, and it was cheap. It was like $100-something. Smartphone. Yeah. But then I ended up not getting it. But his lasted 6 months.
Automation will make manufacturing less expensive. Somebody's got to maintain the robots. Somebody has to do the machine programming. Somebody has to do quality control. Somebody has to do, like, there's always going to be work that needs done, and people that are going to, even with the Atlas robots and stuff, there'll be big advances.
There's a guy that comes in here. He's been a friend of mine forever. I can't remember what name he uses in here. I don't know. Anyway, he works on robotics, and the thing is, they got this huge building, huge business full of people that's working on the robotics. And yeah, the robotics save some money, whatever factory they're using them in. But then now there's this whole new business of people building robotics. So it's like, I don't think it took anybody's job. I think it took some people's. I think some people's jobs changed.
Greed is a disease. It hurts people. It's very dangerous when greedy people have control of things, because things can go very badly. But I mean, there is a way forward where automation and robots and that kind of stuff does not have to destroy us all or anything like that. Like, we can use those things to like build everyone up. The problem is when one person or a couple of people at the top are so focused on hoarding everything for themselves without regard to what happens to everyone else.
Well, Tony's right, Max Respect. When you work with your hands, you can't be replaced. Like with the stuff we're doing, I don't know, we can make any money, but I mean, not doing the way we're doing it. But if we were working on customers' cars, yeah, the difference between the way we work and the way a lot of mechanics work is that we have good results. And I just tired of working on customer stuff. But if you're like, when I had my automotive shops, I didn't advertise. It was just all word of mouth, because my stuff didn't fail. And if I did have a problem occasionally, man, I took care of it. If somebody came in with comeback, man, they were first in line, and I took care of them. And so if you do good work and you can work with your hands, you'll do okay.
Musk is making a factory with new robots that build robots. Absolutely, it'll happen.
Buddy Carfano, I remember getting paid $3.25 at the first part-time job in high school. Man, you're older than I am, I think.
I remember.
I remember $1.65 an hour when I first started working. It was $1.65 an hour was minimum wage.
I made 4.25.
And I was working a place, and the guy was paying me $1.25. And somebody came by and told him you can't do that, and made him pay me $1.65 an hour, and he wasn't real happy because he thought $1.25. But I didn't care. I got to work on cars. I was learning how to work on cars. But then I got a raise. But he got over it.
See, the thing about robots now is robots are become an AI, and so they're trying to make them autonomous. If you train one robot to do a task, and they can do it well, and they can work through whatever problems or obstacles they have, now all you have to do is take a snapshot of what that robot knows, and you just stick it in this robot, and now this robot's trained too. Well, with people, you get a lot of variety. Robots, they can all learn to do the same thing. You only have to teach them once. Once they know, then they all know, which is terrifying, but it's also really, it could be super hyper productive. There could be entire factories that all run themselves and do things, which could be great. It could free us up to make art and build cool hot rods. And
there's another guy I'm thinking about that comes in here. It's Jay from What It's Like. He has a YouTube channel, What It's Like. Well, his YouTube channel is to the point where he can make a living yet. He's making some money, but he's got to work. So he's cabinet maker. He makes end tables and tables and all kinds of stuff like that, cabinets, and he has a one-man shop. He does it himself, and he makes all that stuff. So that's how he survives is YouTube and some YouTube, but mostly he's doing woodwork, and he does some rustic looking stuff that's pretty cool looking stuff, pretty cool looking cabinets. He does a nice job on it.
Vintage Adventure Drive says minimum wage is $7.25 when he got his first job, and it's still $7.25. See, minimum wage is just a bare minimum. And honestly, you cannot ask an individual to show up on site and do much of anything for $7.25 an hour.
See,
but there could be jobs, right, where like you live somewhere and like sit around and watch TV and then answer the phone if it rings. And maybe there could be jobs that require very little of you and that you can do whatever else you want while you're there. That maybe that wouldn't be crazy. But if you're doing something, if you're bringing something to the table and doing something, you're worth more than that. And if you're not, then why are they even doing it if it's not worth paying someone a living wage? Because $7.25 is clearly not a living wage. Minimum wage and living wage are different. At one time, they tried to make minimum wage a living wage, but it's never kept up to being a living wage, especially not if you look at the inflation of housing and food and transportation and other things. And the expectation of what you will bring as a person to any job has changed. When I was a kid, I'd just show up. I didn't have a phone or connection, a GPS location or nothing like that. Now you have to own a phone, which costs money. You have to have an internet connection, which costs money.
Let's see
These
here.
things were not requirements, and now they are.
I just looked up $1.65 an hour in 1970, which is when I was, no, you know what? It was 1971. 1971. I was making $1.65 an hour, which is the same as $13.13 an hour today. So that wasn't bad money. I mean, for an entry-level job, that was okay.
Yeah, for kids starting out.
For kids starting out, that was fine. And yeah, I didn't have to live on that. I lived with my parents. I made enough money to keep my car running. It was a vicious circle. I needed a car to get to work, and then I needed a job so I could keep the car running.
See, Stray Bullet says 20 per hour to flip burgers in California. Yeah, because that's how our inflation has created. California, the economy out there is booming. The cost of living is extremely high. And
So,
no one's going to come and flip burgers for so far below the living wage. So
Kevin,
you talk about minimum wage, you talk about a living wage. $20 an hour in California is not a living wage. So you're just looking at people who, I don't know, they're retired, they just want to have a job, they have something to do. Like who wants to have something to
well,
do, go
to
work at
me,
McDonald's?
minimum wage jobs are entry level positions, and if you educate yourself, that doesn't mean you have to go to school. If you educate yourself, either in school or by learning something, you should be able to do something other than entry level job, and then hopefully you can make more. Who was it here just said? It's I got to scroll back. It was Kevin Smith said he's making 32.50 an hour when he retired in '01. So I looked up in '01, 32.50. That's like 59.15 today. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. That's
See, but
pretty
when
good.
we talk about hourly wages, and then you look at what that equates to a yearly salary, and then you look at the cost of housing and the
Oh,
cost of
yeah.
a new car and insurance on all of those things and taxes. And if you are the head of a household and you look at what you would expect to need to earn, the hourly wage, if you work backwards to an hourly wage and you say, whoa, minimum wage is not a living wage.
So Mark Survey says minimum wage is 17.60. Let me see what that is.
In Ontario.
Let me see what.
And that's closer to a starting
We'll say,
wage.
hang on, that's not going to be what that is though, because
That's Canadian.
Canadian. So I got to look up Canadian dollar. So that is what do you say? 17.60. Jeez.
I think I missed something.
So that's the same. That's 1271, 1272 US. So and there's places. It goes by the state here. I mean, there's a federal minimum, but a lot of states have higher minimum wage than that. So yeah, it's probably similar to Northeast here in the U.S. Let's see. What is this about? Shit, 38 Continental has the old Lincoln Goodyear plant. Oh, it says now they'd call you an intern and charge you something. Oh, I don't know. Well, if they did, I wouldn't be working there more than about 10 more seconds. If they're going to charge me, I'm going to go work for myself. Uh, let's see. Mexican spec. The last time I ate at Burger King, they heated it in the microwave. Danny Boyd, about 7.15 now, I think, which isn't much of modern rent. No, it isn't.
No.
Now the thing is, actually, like the economy was really good in the mid '90s in the U.S. I mean, it was just rolling. And I remember going into and the minimum wage is like 3.25 or something then. And I remember going into Burger King's and into McDonald's in the drive-through. There'd be a sign out there that says, now hiring $7 an hour, which is double minimum wage, with like a $3,000 sign-on bonus. And that's because they couldn't find anybody because the economy was so good that they couldn't find minimum wage people, so they're offering more. So I mean, that's what really makes the wages go up is a good economy.
And a lot of young people are going into college and spending 4 to 6 years in college, and they come out, they don't want entry level jobs. They will not take entry level pay. So there's fewer people to take and now they're exporting immigrants.
Well,
Exporting is the wrong word, but
if you um, if you go to college, you gotta have a degree that gives you a job when you come out. You know, like my youngest son he has a double degree in physics and mathematics. Well, crap, he got a job so fast, because his job, it's that degree is worth something in the job market. Because there's a lot of degrees you get that I don't think it'll get you a job.
Kevin, that sounds like a fantastic job, and that they're hard to get. You need to educate yourself, and you need to have friends in high places to get good jobs like that.
Was this Mike Sauvé or Mark Sauvé? It says, so they found.
An excuse to get rid of me.
Okay, I'm looking back up to see what else he said. I was selling heavy truck parts at a little over 27 an hour, but wanted a day job and found another truck dealer that hired me 452 an hour, and that's when my medical issues started. Yeah, and medical issues will really mess you up. I know people that have done well and they end up with a medical issue and they can't work, and that, look at you. That's why you ended up not without that job, is because you ended up getting back surgery. What happened to you when you were doing the all the surveying and planning properties and all that stuff? You ended up getting back surgeries. Did you ever go back to that job?
No,
Yeah,
I couldn't do that job.
You
That
couldn't do
job
that. That's
requires
right.
me
Okay.
to stand up
So your
all day.
medical
Yeah, I had to leave for medical reasons.
medical reasons messed your job up. Yeah.
Yeah. I got
See, Stray Bullet says, I'd like to
sick.
go to work for Burger King. They're giving a 3K sign-on bonus. That was in the mid-'90s. That was just the politics of the time. Somehow the two parties came together in the U.S. and they passed a balanced budget. Two different parties. One passed it, president signed it, and man, did the economy take off. And you'll hear President Clinton today, still today, I presided over the greatest economy in 50 years. Well, he did. And, that's why there were $3,000 sign-ons with double minimum wage to start at Burger King. It's because they couldn't get anybody. I was working at Titan Aircraft then, and man, trying to find somebody, we had such a hard time finding employees then, and because everybody's working, 38 Racing. Well, it's tomorrow already. Oh God, it is.
Good night, Ray.
We're gonna have to get off here too.
We should, yeah.
Stray Bullet, a free meal, uniform, $20 per hour, and 3K. Where's that? Is that now, or is that something else? A free uniform.
I don't know any fast foods.
I
$3,000 sign-on bonuses.
No, that was in the 90s. I was in Geneva, Ohio when that was happening, and I couldn't believe it when I drove in the first time I drove in it was a Burger King, and I saw that $7 an hour, which at the time was double minimum wage, a little more than that, and a $3,000 sign-on bonus. And I was just shaking my head. I go, man, no wonder we can't get anybody, because neither can they,
Stray Bullet says, for that kind of money, you could probably finance a Hellcat charter. Yeah, but you have to live in it.
You have to live in it.
You can't afford rent at that as well. Buddy says, I have a relative who graduated college owing $180,000 in debt for student loans. If you're going to do that, you better have a plan for how you're going to pay that back.
I used to see this out there at the test site where I worked, and these young people would come in fresh out of college, never had a job before, and they owe 150 grand right off the bat. And they struggled to pay it. I knew people in their mid-40s, they were still paying student loans. Man, one of my kids, I wanted him to go to college, and I was figuring a way to do it, and he didn't want it. We went in the Army. Well, he got his college education while he's in the Army, and now now all he thinks about is education. He's about ready to retire from the Army. But the other one, we paid for his college education. We didn't want him to have student loans, so we, bite the bullet and pay for the kids' college so they don't end up in that mess. And I know everybody can't do that. And the other option is do what I did. Just, there was no money for college, so I worked and I educated myself. I don't have a piece of paper that says I know how to do anything, but I managed to keep myself employed.
Mexican spec. No one at that business was a lowly worker. It was a highly technical sort of
What's that?
field. I don't know, whatever you were talking about, where people were getting paid good money. It was expectation was very high for that job. It
What
was
was
very.
that?
I don't know, whatever you were doing. It's okay. I've got to move backwards because we're
What
going
I
to
was
lose
doing?
stuff.
No.
Mark Sauvé was talking about how he kind of didn't have medical insurance and no unemployment, and now his disability pension is not going to.
Mexican
I'm
spec
so
says
sorry.
was
Find help through friends or family, or you may have to change your. That's how I lost my house. I couldn't pay for it. I had to change my living situation. I live here now, and we work together, and the bills get paid, and it's enough. But life changes, big changes. I'm so sorry. It's very difficult to become ill. Pitt Snipe says it took me 5 years to pay off the college that I flunked out of. It took me 4 years to pay off my first. I went to art school. Boy, that was stupid. It took me a long time to pay off that debt, but I did. And then I went back to school and got a different education. And then a couple of years, 6 years later, I went to night school for 4 years to get another different education.
Mexican spec says, was that for managers? Couldn't be for lowly workers. What, the Burger King?
No.
Is that what you're talking about?
He was talking about when you were working places and you get people in. And
Oh, this is a good story. I was working at Titan Aircraft. I ran the show. I was it. I reported to the boss. Everybody else worked for me, and I did the reviews. So every 6 months I'd do a review and we'd go over it, and they'd get a raise, they wouldn't get a raise or whatever, and I'd be told by my boss, the owner of the company, what the raises were going to be, and as their pay got up close to mine, pretty soon he'd do the review, and I knew when he was doing the reviews, I knew all the what you call the lowly workers. I knew they were making more than me because he didn't want me to know that, but I figured that out. That wasn't hard. And of course, some of the employees are bragging about what they're making, and I start seeing the employees making $2 to $3, $4 an hour more than me. The welders all made probably like $10 an hour more than me.
Welders are expensive.
And I was managing the whole thing. And it got to the point where I wasn't doing any more reviews anymore. And you know what? That's when I moved to Tennessee. I quit. You know what? Everybody in this place, every dumbass in here makes more than the guy running the show.
That's how you carefully eliminate your top people.
And you know what? I left. And it was the best thing I ever did, because it wasn't long before one of my customers called me. He was a defense contractor, and ended up going to work for him. And I didn't plan that at all. It was about a year that I was here, just doing odd welding jobs and doing some CAD work for people. But man, when that guy hired me,
it took you a lot of years to get recognized and get a job.
That was the only thing. That was the only job that I had really paid good, was that defense contractor. And I did that for 15 years.
Well, I think it's good for us to talk about these kinds of things, but we've gone on very long in the tooth on this stream. We're 3 hours in, and he and I have talked about it in these 3 and 4 hour streams. Unless we have a specific project that has to get done and we want to stream while we're working on it, we don't want to do these super long.
I said I wasn't going to go 3 hours tonight, and here we are over 3 hours.
You said 2, we were going to cut it off.
I said we were going to cut it off at 2, and now here we are at 3.
But you guys are such good community. And such, I like talking to all of you, and I don't want to miss people's comments.
I have a Burger King crown. There you go. That's what I got. I got a Burger King crown.
You guys are great, and we want it to go on and on, but it's time to be done. We got it. So, I don't know where you guys are going next. Who else is streaming? Somebody's got to get good at stream after us.
Tim, I want a no-name Nationals cheeseburger. Did you have one of those? Man, I had one of those all 3 years I was there. And Kim knows I wasn't supposed to have the bread, so she gave me a cheeseburger without the bread. It's like, what is this? I got done. I went and got another one with the bread. because they're good.
Mexican Spec really wants to know, were they offering a $3,000 signing bonus for a regular position, or was
Yes.
it a management
No.
position?
It was. They
Wow.
didn't have people to work in
What
there.
part of the country was this in?
It was in Geneva, Ohio, which is a dump. It was. It was.
Nobody wanted to work at the Burger King.
They couldn't get anybody.
Right.
Because there were so many jobs then.
Was that when they were still open like all night, like 24-hour Burger King?
I don't remember.
It might have been late night closers. I remember a lot of places were desperate for people to work until like midnight and later.
Mid-90s, we had the balanced budget. Man, did the economy take off, and it took off for about 3 or 4 years, and then then the war came and everything, and the balanced budgets all went away, and we're back to the same old nonsense.
Tim wants a No Name Nationals cheeseburger. If they're the same as last year, they were all right. I mean, it's track food. I'm not going to say like, oh, it's best cheeseburger, but like for track food, pretty good. Pretty good. Way better than like a McDonald's burger or something like that. But
it was a dump left my house. Well, you know what? It was a town that
people live there. No, it was a dump.
It was a town it's in northeast Ohio, and it's Ashtabula County, and Ashtabula County is the only county in Ohio that's part of the Appalachian Poverty Zone, whatever they call it. So it was a very depressed area. Yet in the mid 90s, man, we couldn't find employees. You just couldn't find people. And Burger King and McDonald's are both offering $3,000 sign-on bonuses for just lowly take orders people, And
I'm sure they didn't give you the $3,000 up front. Like you had to probably work for 6 months or something like that.
You had to be there 60 days to get it. Yeah, I mean, you didn't get it the first day because people just get it and walk off.
Track food has got to be above prison food. I can't say I've had prison food, but I mean, the track food is, below restaurant food, but way above fast food.
I don't know why.
It's okay.
Those burgers are just, it's like the old.
And they had the serve yourself toppings.
It reminds those burgers remind me back in the 50s. We used to go about once a year. We'd go to a little local burger joint and get the greasy burgers.
Yeah.
Because there was no McDonald's
nice
and Burger
people
King
in
yet.
The concession stand too. Friendly.
So those burgers at No Name Nationals are just like the old 50s local cheeseburger places. Man, there's one of those. I lived in Brookings, South Dakota for a while, and I went back there a few years ago, like about 10 years ago, and there's a little burger place there, Nick's Hamburgers, and it was there in the 60s when I was there, and they had the same kind of thing, little grease burgers. And I went back there, and that place is still there, and I went in there and got a couple of those burgers. They're not very big. They're kind of greasy, but it's the same place, and it's amazing. You still have burgers that taste like the 50s and 60s. So, they're same thing at No Name Nationals at the track. Same kind of burgers. You still have that lobster restaurant chain. Seems like a place I'd like to. Oh, Red Lobster. Is that the name? Red Lobster? Yeah. They're around. You ever eaten Red Lobster?
Not that I recall. I think maybe I went there once when I was really kind of like a teen. I might have gone on a date there or something like that.
Yeah, I like.
Too expensive. I don't even like lobster, so.
It's too expensive, but I like lobster. But I've been there a few times. Yeah.
A couple times I've had lobster. It was like really soft and I don't know. It was expensive. It's like, man.
You know what, Tim? This is what they're gonna do and they were talking about this. John Wilburn and everybody's Dallas, all these people. What they're talking about doing is instead of having like everybody cooks food one night at No Name Nationals, they're going to order all the pizzas in town from all the pizza places and have them brought out there, and everybody will buy a couple pizzas. We'll bring them out there, and they'll have all these pizzas, and everybody try all the different pizzas. So, yeah, they'll deliver pizza to the track, I'm sure. I bet they will, because this isn't that far away. Oh, it says Kevin said Norwalk Dragway, NHRA has ice cream for $1 concession stand. I used to work about a block from there. There's the Norwalk airport. I worked at the airport, And I could hear the cars over there while I was working at night. Yeah, Pitt says, I love Red Lobster. Dean says, I love rock lobster. We're in Nebraska. We ain't got no oceans. You're as far from the ocean as you can get and still be in the U.S. Okay. Yeah, we got to get out of here.
Hey,
Dead lobster.
hey.
Dead lobster. Better
Goodbye.
live lobster.
Na, na, na. Guys, I don't know who is still streaming. Maybe somebody's out there working late into the night, but it ain't us. We're gonna be done. I might start this.
Man,
or maybe make some shorts.
Pineapple and Canadian bacon. You know what I like is ham and pineapple. All you Red Lobster haters can suck it. Am I gonna get my Red Lobster's having issues right now. There's other
everybody's struggling.
There's other places that have lobster, so
everyone is struggling. It is tough.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? My trash can hasn't tipped over yet.
Trash can is still upright. Hasn't busted off, hasn't flipped over. So there you go.
What is this? Last time we went to Dead Lobster, I got glass in my salad.
Oh my God.
That's a mess up.
Glass.
I went to a place in Yuma, got a big old salad, and there was a plastic bag all cut up in the salad. It's like, really?
I think the whole Cracker Barrel thing was a PR stunt. Total PR stunt. That's all it was. They just wanted to get their name out into them.
I don't know what they did.
I don't know. Either.
I don't think they did themselves any good.
I think they were failing anyways.
Kate Rogers has frozen
swordfish.
Swordfish.
Wow, who would make a sword out of fish? That's silly.
I like that. Kate Rogers. What John Cope calls that place. Kate Rogers.
Thanks to everyone who was here tonight. Thank you to Kevin and Mexican Spec, our moderators.
Oh yeah, Tuesday night, 7:00 Central. Remember, we'll be there.
We will. What are we talking about on Tuesday?
Okay.
We don't remember. Show up and find out. Hopefully you've already sent your email because you were paying attention. Oh, was it like utility vehicles? Yeah.
Yeah, utility vehicles, yeah.
Utility vehicles.
Pitt, Hy-Vees. Man, that's Brookings, South Dakota. I didn't know you had those in Nebraska. Yeah, I know Hy-Vees. Hy-Vees, good stores. Okay.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Stay out of trouble. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all the comments. I'm sorry if we didn't read your comment. We do our best to keep up with everybody's conversations, but it was a little bit wild tonight. But we really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.